Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the episode 1 of Ruins of the Old World. We're going to get started right away here. Just going to go over a brief introduction to the campaign setting, and we should be good to go. All right? All right, let's get started here. So, our story begins in 6713 of the Common Year, in a new frontier. 5 years after the first wave of migrants led by Maristron, a man declaring heritage to the original inhabitants of Isker. His claim to legitimacy, the method of processing the explosively volatile zezimite, a seemingly sentient metal found only in the Lost Region. Supposedly, this method was passed down through the line of surviving noble refugees for the last 7 centuries, since the fall of the original Isker. A great new call for migrants was issued by Maris. Messengers were sent far and wide, looking for fresh blood to continue the expansion of the revived kingdom, replenish the workforce, and explore new ruins. All pointing to old Giscari sects and Isker's vast lost history. Why did Isker fall? How could one of the most advanced civilizations of its time? Many cartographers have risked life and limb surveying the land of old Isker, communicating with the city-states and the standoffish elf clans, climbing the highest mountain peaks and its lowest valleys, and still the land leaves so much undiscovered. The southern lands are viewed as wild at best and savage at worst, and the ever-warring elven factions of the east have created an unstable power struggle, a victor yet to be determined. Though New Isker is a young nation, it seems to hold endless economical and historical value, as further study is done on the plentiful ruins and its natural resources. As one of said resources, Sesamite has formed an economic boom. Commonly known as the viridescent rush, its unnatural properties have created much interest from wealthy backers, and, if rumors are to be believed, less than honorable sources. None of this is of any concern to the former Iron Shield dwarves who run the Great Mine, however. As long as the coin and ale keep flowing, they may mine to the center of Eridar itself. Regardless of their background or profession, hopeful migrants come from kingdoms far and wide to carve out their own piece of the pie, taking positions as miners, adventurers, explorers, craftsmen, mercenaries, or prostitutes. Anything they can do to put down roots in a nation so filled with hopeful prospects. Though, for such a tropical paradise, there's a palpable tension in the air. A spark may be all it takes to reignite the ruins of the old world. Our more immediate story begins in a refugee caravan, led by a man named Hawken Light, one of Maris's Drawn's men. He's been around since the beginning, and been running the caravan since the start of the resettlement. And even he feels that the danger they've faced so far on this journey is strange. Elevated. Our group nears the last rest stop before Isker proper, Freehold, the capital of the Alliance of the Unbound, a nation formed by former slaves and refugees of the Vrakar Empire. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bring in all of our players here now. They're going to just give an introduction of their characters' names, and we'll get into the campaign proper, okay? Alright. If we want to go ahead and introduce ourselves here, guys. Make sure we're coming through here okay on the sound. Alright. Just making sure our settings are coming through here, guys. It's great to see some of the faces while we're getting this figured out here. Big Brain Girl, glad to see you. Looks like we've got a few new faces in the chat. I really like seeing that here. I'm glad you guys could catch session 1 here today. Alright, so there is going to be a small delay while we get these worked out here. We will be right back, and sorry about this delay, guys. We'll get started right away.
Hello, hello.
All right, sorry about that delay, everybody. We have sound now, looks like, so we're going to go ahead and start with Marcus here. It's played by Zoltar on the left. Go ahead and introduce your character here.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Definitely nice to play again. I'm playing Marcus Avalon in this campaign. A little bit about him. I'm traveling south with my younger brother Andrew. We don't have character art yet this week, but we should have some for next week, so very excited about that. But yeah, I'm playing Marcus Avalon, and I am a human. Are we giving out our classes? Or are we gonna let them figure that out?
We're going to let them figure that out, actually. So
All
good
right.
introduction there. If Andrew, if you want to go ahead and pick up.
Okay. My name's Andrew Avalon. I am Marcus Avalon's little brother. I'm traveling south with Marcus.
All right, perfect. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself here, Gomni.
Pagan Gamer, played by Gumney Ironshield, dwarf of the Ironshield clan, nephew of the great Gomney Ironshield Senior.
All right, pretty on the nose with the naming. I appreciate it. And let's go ahead and introduce yourself, Clapper here. Let's let you take that box of rocks.
Hi, I am playing Pack. I am a Goklat, and I am very much the kind of guy who likes to have fun and be very serious at the same time.
All right, perfect. Glad to get everybody's little introduction here. So we're gonna go ahead and take a closer look at our group here as we zoom in on the caravan pulling on to the last legs of its journey before entering Freehold proper. For a quick resupply and resting from the extraordinary danger you have all encountered on your way on what should have been a very mundane journey. Hawken will turn to the group that you have all gathered here and mention that they should be stopping for about a day or two, barring any issues with some of the information brokers he reaches out to. You're free to roam about the city as you see its beautifully sculpted metal walls, surprisingly sturdy given its short history of about 2 centuries or so. Um, it seems busy with beautiful farmlands outside of the city. It's about mid-afternoon here, but this land is known for its specific version of a flower, which only seems to bloom in the moonlight, that gives it its wonderful glow. You're greeted by some gate guards here and checked for any illegal contraband before they wave you on into the city proper. All right, I'll be stopping with some information brokers and making sure the way towards Isker is clear. You have a few days to relax, rest up, procure any additional supplies you need before we leg it the rest of the way. There's a few places you can pay a visit to in town. There's a merchant's district, and, well, they have some shows if you're into that kind of entertainment. Blood sport and the like. And, be sure not to tick off too many of the families. They don't take kindly to, insubordination. Any questions before you all set out? I know this is your first time here.
I just kind of fold my arms over in the corner, in the back of the group. Not really saying much.
All right, chatty bunch then. We'll meet here in.
Right. Uh, how long is our rest?
We'll be here for about 2 days, barring any trouble. You'll report here tomorrow around the same time. Make sure that our journey isn't delayed at all, Gomni. And again, here's your pay for protecting the caravan, as he hands you just a few worms here, maybe about 15 or so. The rest you ate and drank on the way here, so spend it all in one place, why don't you? I'll see you all around midday tomorrow. If you'll excuse me, I have some wonderful people to meet. As he seems to disappear into an alleyway here, leaving the rest of the guard of the caravan to mill the people towards resting areas here. You get a sense of the sights and sounds of a city that you haven't passed by its like in a few weeks at this point, traveling with the caravan south here. The familiar ringing of hammer on anvils calls out to you, along with delicate spices, the smell of them in the air. And you hear in the distance almost the clattering of steel on steel and the cheer of a crowd.
Hey, Andrew, you want to go over there and see what all the fuss is about?
Yes.
All right, well, hurry along then, as I kind of grab my things together and I throw my pack up over my shoulder. To describe my character, I stand about 6 feet tall. I'm wearing a black leather jerkin with long pants and traveling boots hiked up to my knee. I've got a tattered black cloak that kind of wraps around my neck and flows down behind, with short cropped black hair and a very well maintained black goatee with green eyes in my early 20s. Is that kind of. Come on, Andrew.
Excellent. And while we're on that subject here, Andrew, if you want to go ahead and introduce your character.
Yeah. So my character, he has brown hair, and he's wearing kind of like a cloak looking thing. It's like brown, and then he's also got a little satchel around, I guess, that if you could describe it, that it like goes around him, so he holds stuff in it. And then he has a little thing on his knuckles on his hand. And yeah, that's really it. That he's young, he's 17. So
All right. So you two will split off and begin to explore some of the more interesting sights that Freehold has to offer. As Pack, a figure seems to approach you from one of the alleyways. A bit shifty, the veins in his eyes a little more pronounced than you may have seen from your normal folk. Please, sir, just a few coins. You look like you could fight. I'm sure if you went to the arena, you could you could spare a few coins. You look like you frequent that place. As he's scratching along his arms here, his dirty rags and a distinct sewer smell coming off of this man.
Uh, Pack want help. Pack no money.
Sure, you have some money. I noticed that there's no way. I mean, really, just a coin or two, please, sir. As he kind of grasps at your frayed monk robes here.
Uh, 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 I'd pick out 2 silver pieces. I all got, and I kind of drop them on him.
Thank you, sir. 2 silver pieces. My family can eat for a week. As you see him turn and duck around the alley, as you see a shaded figure hold out his hands as he pockets the coins. Gomni, you witness all of this occur, man being fleeced for everything he has, as you hear some people chuckle behind him. Behind you, 5 minutes in freehold and he's already broke. I guess this place has a reputation of its own. For a reason. How long do you think the dwarf will hold on to his coin? Eh.
The moment he watches this, he'll shift a gold pouch underneath of his chainmail because they ain't getting it unless they touch something important.
Ah, well, at least he has his wits about him. Not what I was expecting, given how he handles himself on the trip, I guess. As they kind of sneer and move their way into the city, leaving some of these refugees a bit lost. Um, so, what do you two do here, left around this caravan post? Do you head off separately, or are you merely waiting, go to an inn, get a few drinks? Give me an idea of what you would do exploring this new area in Freehold.
I'm kind of curious where the man ran off to and who the other shady figure was, so I kind of want to go that way.
Okay. So you kind of look around and you're going to go by yourself down this alley, or are you going to grab a few faceless guardsmen? You fought
Uh,
alongside a few of them on the way here into Freehold.
okay, so I would know Gomni, correct?
Yes, you were both
Uh,
in the rear guard, so you do have some semblance of a relationship here.
okay, I just look at Gomni. I'm like, Gomni, want help, Pack? Go adventure.
Lad, we've been on the road for days. I would like a comfy seat and a warm drink, and then I'd be glad to help you.
Hmm.
You catch up to Pack Pack. I adventure.
All right. As you mentioned drinks, a few of the guardsmen you've been traveling with will mention there's a few places we can hit down the road, but warm drinks? Didn't know that was your preference. As they gesture to
I, I
the road.
said, I said a warm seat and a cold drink.
Ah, okay, that makes a bit more sense then. As they'll take you down to a an inn aptly called the Silver Coin. Um, we're gonna stick with Pack Pack for just a moment here as he begins trapezing down alleyways. Is that right? Going on your adventure here, Pack Pack.
Yep.
All right. So are you making any kind of sneaky way through this alley, or are you just blundering in there here?
I am kind of like I'm not full on charging.
Hmm.
I'm taking my time walking through. I'm not making myself obvious, but I'm not hiding.
Okay. All right. So just making it seem like you know the place. Okay. These are
Yeah.
bad. These are bad dice.
I am very dumb, so I want to make it confident that I know the place.
Okay. So if as you start stalking down this alleyway, just kind of passively following these two individuals, you follow them for maybe 10, 15 minutes. They keep ducking around corners before you can get close enough. You notice some whispering between the two of them. If you want to roll perception here, focus in a little closer.
Yep. Ooh, 18.
All right. So you will pick up what these faint whispers are saying. Are you sure we're going to do that tonight? It seems a little bit risky, and honestly, if I can get 2 silver coins off of every refugee in town, we might not need to. That's what the captain said, as the other turns to him. Besides, there's a few guards in our pocket won't be there when they should be, so we should have a better chance for success. Wait, do you hear that? As you see one of them start to turn his head down the alleyway. Before he kind of brushes over your spot against the wall and keeps walking, where they enter a cellar door that seems to go below an inn of some kind.
I am going to proceed to follow them because I am genuinely curious now.
All right. So you go to follow them and you give this closed hatch a tug here and you realize it's locked. They have locked it behind them. What do? You can attempt to break this lock or give us your search.
So is there an area that I could stand somewhere or like hide above the door?
You could crawl on top of the inn that they seem to have entered the basement of. If you could give me an acrobatics check, if you feel as though you wouldn't be too inconspicuous hiding about on the roofs.
Yep. 20.
All right, so you managed to make it up the roof with feat of dexterity, bouncing off the walls to get to the top there, where you will lie in wait for some activity. As we're going to
Oh,
cut. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna knock on the door, actually. Sorry.
So
While I
you're
was up, while I was climbing up.
okay. So you knocked on the trap door. Let's see. It's with no response at the moment.
Okay.
But you are perched above and out of sight. It won't be too long before the action occurs. So we're going to come over to Marcus and Andrew. Um, as you're walking through the sights and sounds and smells of Freehold wash over your senses, it's almost overpowering considering that you've been on the road and smell nothing but refugees, unwashed bodies, things of that nature. Your mouth almost waters at the fresh baked meat pies that line the shelves next to you, and merchants perusing wares and undercutting the quality of competition here as the bazaar is in a buzz as you draw ever closer to the arena. Sirs, can I interest you in some fine pipework brought to us from the east? I'm I'm sure you look like you could use a kerchief, the finest satin you'll find.
We're not interested.
Oh, well, maybe you're not, of course, but your stylish friend, maybe. You look like you know your way around the fabrics. Please, at least feel a set.
I'm okay. Thank you, though.
A shame, I thought you were one for quality. Hmm. As he goes back to try to fleece the next person, as you move your way through the more mercantile section of the bazaar here.
Andrew,
Marcus.
have you eaten yet today?
I
Maybe you
was
could get some, visit one of the stalls.
I was just getting ready to say I am so hungry.
Okay, let's see what let's see what they've got. Is I'll kind of take a peek around, perusing the different food vendors in the area.
All right, so you look around at a few different places, being reminded of the fact that you've had nothing but bread and stew for the last several weeks on the road. You'll see a butcher shop that's also working as a cookery, as fresh as it can get. You'll see a couple of places and foods you've never seen before, strange meats on skewers with what looks to be a pepper of some kind skewered in between, as well as those delectable meat pies, a specialty of Freehold.
The meat pies.
You want to get a meat pie?
Let's go get a meat pie.
All right, come on. As I kind of walk over to the vendor.
All right, so
And I
you walk
follow
over
along.
to an older lady. She seems to be shaky a little bit as she kneads the dough for an additional pie. Oh, hello, dearie. What can I get you both?
How big are these pies? I mean, are you talking like single serving? Could we split one?
You could probably split one and be comfortably full. It'd be a feast for one person.
All right.
I'm not splitting with you.
Oh my God. All right. I kind of.
Two pies, please. Two pies.
Okay, well, we have a chicken pie or a more traditional beef meat pie.
I
Which
look
one
down
do you
at-
recommend?
Oh, well, me, I can't eat a whole lot of them anymore given my age and frailty, but I would recommend the meat pie, the standard beef, as she points to the sign and you realize it's a few worms more expensive.
Marcus, we gotta get the meat pie.
It's let's well, just one though.
One meat pie? All right, dearie, sure thing. Coming right up. That will be 6 worms, please.
I kind of pull open my pouch, my very meager pouch, as I sift through and I pull out 6 worms and then hand them over.
As you take the coins, there's a deceptive amount of strength in this old woman's grip as she takes the coins from you. All right, dearie, it will be just one moment. We've got a few coming fresh out of the oven. As she gets that pie for you and sets it on a steaming plate here. Passes it over the counter to you. And do make sure you tell your friends about Auntie Annie's.
Definitely will. I'm sure it'll be delicious.
And you take your meat pie. You notice it seems to have a bit more give than you were expecting. Like it might not be completely done, but it does smell much better than anything you've had in the last few weeks.
I hand it over to Andrew. Eat up. I ate breakfast this morning.
I just take it and I turn around and I just start eating it.
Alright, so you just dig into this meat
I just
pie with
destroy it.
gusto.
Are you using your fingers and just
I'm
like
using my fingers. I got my knuckle that I have on that I put that in my pocket, in my satchel, and I just grab the pie and I just start destroying it.
when I see him doing this, I'm gonna come on as I kind of slap his shoulder. I raised you better than that boy. Use the fork.
Fine.
As you look around, you do see a few different people that are just dragonborn walking the streets here, taking chunks out of the pie with their claws and digging in with gusto. As a few people give you strange looks for lecturing him on his manners here. The moment you bite into the pie, it's almost so soft it melts. It seems to slide down your throat, leaving a pleasant, gamey taste to it.
This is the best pie I've ever had.
Best meat pie.
It's so good.
As you eat your pie, do you continue your way through the bazaar, or are you working your way towards the clash of steel and steel?
I think I'll kind of turn to you. You want to see what the rest of the shops are offering, or do you want to head over and see what all the noise is about?
I don't know. I'm eating pie.
Well, we can walk around for a bit before we head over.
Alright, so you'll begin perusing the remainder of some of these stalls here. We are going to cut over to Gomni really quickly here, as you have arrived at a gilded coin, this inn/bar that they have brought you to here. Um, as they turn to you and say, "So, do you like strong drinks or weak drinks?"
Well, I still have work tomorrow, so let's go right in between.
Right in between. That's fine then. You know, they do have a few extracurricular here, if that's what you're into. As you do, as they open the doors to the place, and you do see a few um, women walking around with plates of mugs of ale and higher shelf stuff. As they take a seat at the bar. It's a grizzled old man here, old dragonborn, a scar across his nose, and he's missing a few teeth as he gives you a grin. What can I get for you both?
Well, what's good around here generally?
Hmm. Well, we do brew particularly interesting barrels from some of the flowers you can find around here. We call them ithils. They only bloom at night, and their nectar is quite sweet and leaves you with a feeling of euphoria. You drink enough of it.
Let's start with one of those, and we'll see where it goes from there.
All right, so the house specialty. And for you gentlemen, as they'll order the same, putting what looks to be 8 worms on the table here for the house specialty. As he brings out
I'll
three,
tap in.
as he brings out 3 almost purple glowing liquids, as he sets them down in front of you. Don't mind the color, I promise. Once you have a sip, you'll be back for them tomorrow for another. As he sets it down in
Well,
front of you here.
can't be any worse than some of the shit I've drank.
You might be pleasantly surprised. All right, so you go ahead and
Just
take it if
take
you.
the glass and just take it and just do like a little bit of a cheers to the bartender. And I'm gonna take a very cautious, casual swallow of it. Not the standard dwarven, just empty a half a glass in one go. Because I've never seen an alcoholic drink that was purple.
Understandable. Completely understandable. And it does have a sort of fresh scent, unlike the typical fermented brew that you're used to. As you drink it, it has the consistency of syrup, but as it slides down, you do realize it's got this sweet, almost too sweet taste to it compared to what you're used to. Um, it almost leaves a tang in your mouth, but as you go ahead and give me a fortitude save here. All right.
Give me a second. I gotta find fortitude here.
No problem.
True dwarven fashion of a
Ugh,
20.
dwarves. Dwarves and alcohol, man. All right. So it doesn't seem to rock you out of your chair, but you feel a pleasant tingling behind your eyes. The taste might leave something to be desired, but it does seem designed for effect. As you see the 2 guards who are with you here get a little red in the face. While you're looking over at them, though, you do go ahead and roll me a perception check as you see something out of the corner of your eye.
This is going to be a bad one because I don't think I have a lot of perception.
You fool.
I took what I could. Perception. 12.
12, huh? All right, so you won't hear what they're whispering about, but you do see 2 figures, one dressed in drab and dirty robes, and the other almost wearing what appears to be a gray business suit of sorts, with sunglasses hiding his face here. The sun does beat down fairly heavily in the Alliance, so almost a necessity in some cases, as they seem to take some hushed tones and walk over to the corner. One of the guards will clap you on your shoulder, kind of shaking you out of your observation. What, that done in already? Already zoning out?
Oh, I've never seen a man dressed quite so weird before.
Huh. All kinds of weird types here in Freehold. Plenty of old money, plenty of new money. And with everyone stopping through here on their way to Iska, the place has been booming lately. Maybe it's a new fashion trend from some far off place. As he kind of dismisses it. Me, I prefer iron and steel, as he pounds on his breastplate. Are you kidding me? Leather is much better than iron or steel. Can you even swim in that thing? As you realize the other guard with a longbow strung over his shoulder is kind of arguing the merits. Come on, Gomni, break the tie. Iron or leathers?
Lad, if you're worried about swimming in armor, I think you've ended up in the wrong drink.
As you get a chuckle out of even the bartender. Um, as they'll buy you a round of something else, as neither of them were particularly impressed with the Ithel drink here. So we're going to cut over to Pack really quickly. As you see, or hear, I should say, a click on the trapdoor that you are perched above here, as a figure walks out of it. As he gives a cursory look around. Did you ever roll a stealth check?
No,
Would you like to?
will do. $21.
All right. So he almost catches a glimpse of you as you press yourself against the roof. Your years of training in your unit reminding you that being out of sight means being out of sight. As he'll kind of grumble under his breath, could have swore I heard something, before he goes and shuts the trap door and begins walking down the rest of the alley.
I begin to follow him.
All right, so you step down and you do out of the corner of your eye see that this cellar is slightly ajar. As you will, do you still
I turn
continue
around.
to? All right, so
Nope.
you turn around here, and what do? Do you pry open the cellar here? Do you press your ear against it? What are you doing here?
I listen to see if I can hear people talk.
All right, so you listen in and you think you hear something. Roll a perception check.
Yep.
Best skill in the game. Don't let anyone tell you different.
20, not nat.
All right. So you don't hear any chattering, but you do hear like maybe one set of footprints of one person moving around at the bottom of this, getting further and further away.
I go in.
All right. So you step in and the noise of a bar above you seems to filter in as you look around, and you're surrounded by casks, what looks like a strange brewing stand with a few purple flowers next to it. Almost, and what looks like a bucket of paint on the ground below it. As you look around a little bit more, go ahead and give me one more perception check.
Yep. Oh, that's the wrong one. 12.
All right. So with the 12, you do see just a single door leading up here, and what looks to be more saddlebags of materials and things of that nature on shelving down here in this cellar, but nothing unusual.
Just one doorway heading up. Is the most of that noise coming from that doorway heading up?
It seems like the footprints. Oh my gosh, the footsteps at this point have receded, and you are now in the cellar by yourself.
I meant, is the noise from the bar coming from that doorway going up?
Yes, that's correct. You do happen to hear the livelihood as well as possibly a laugh from some of the guardsmen you've been with as of late.
And I didn't hear that door close when I came down, did I?
No, you did not.
All right, so I'm going to continue to look around because I did not hear that door close.
All right, so you go ahead and give me one more perception check here.
Yep.
For it's determined to be beyond your current ability.
18.
All right, so you're kind of shuffling away at some of the floor and the shelving here as you almost hear a snap of something. As you look down, you see one of the things you've moved off the shelf has revealed a tripwire of sorts, and it's under tension. It's got a single iron ring at the end of it.
Single iron ring at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's attached to that wire?
It does, yes, it is attached to that wire.
Can I try to sleight of hand to disarm it?
Sure, you can attempt to disarm this.
By disarm, I mean letting off the tension as lightly and slowly as I can to where it relocks back in place.
Sure. Go ahead and roll it.
Yep, 5.
Okay, so you attempt to relieve the tension on it and you sneeze, giving it a quick jerk as you hear a click from behind you, and give me a reflex save.
Yep. Nat 20.
All right, so you deftly dodge the paralysis arrow that's launched from a hole in the wall beside you, as it snaps on the wall next to you, and a hatch opens below this shelving unit here.
Uh, I look down the hatch to make sure there's no more of those tripwires.
You don't see any with a accusatory look.
All right, I begin to make my way down.
All right. So we are going to cut back over to Andrew and Marcus here as Pack begins its. That was the first nat 20 actually. As Pack begins his descent into the darkness by himself. So we come back over to you two, moving through some of the shops as people are selling, fine pottery, and this was scrapped together and melded by Dragonflame from the House of Shadows here. It's guaranteed to last for 1,000 years, and miscellaneous knickknacks and things of that nature. Before you come across a shop with what sounds like hammering on metal, a little bit further in. It's rather simple compared to the showy way that people have been trying to get your attention as of late. Just a few simple pieces of horseshoes, a breastplate, and a long sword sitting on a stand out front of a blacksmithy called the Iron Forge.
You see anything that interests you, Andrew?
Nothing here.
All right.
You want to go ahead and head over to. I hear a whole bunch of noise coming over from the far side of the city. If you want to head over and see what that's all about.
Well, you lead that. I'm just about done with this pie.
Oh, you're still eating that thing. All right. We'll head over to the noise through the market area.
So you walk through the cacophonous sounds of the market towards the arena, where you hear cheers and steel on steel, as well as the sounds of roaring beasts. As you get a little bit closer, you do see a couple of large, armored, muscled dragonborn who kind of watch you approach here. And they say, "Whoa, you part of the fighter or viewer?" As he looks to both of you.
What do you mean? We're just through with one of the caravans heading south to Isker.
Oh, another caravan. Well, if you're looking for a place to either earn or spend some coin, you've come to the right place. This here is our famous arena, where the freed combat slaves that to this day still escape from the Vrakar Empire show the skills that they earned through blood and sweat back over there.
How much coin?
Viewing or fighting? As he kind of looks you both up and down.
Both.
Well, fighting, assuming you win, will entitle you to a drake at first. And viewing? 5 worms per person.
You want to watch a fight, Andrew?
It's not my thing. You know this, Marcus.
I know, but
What? Little man afraid of a little bloodshed?
It's just not my thing.
maybe I'll come by tomorrow if I've got the time. I'd be more interested in fighting for the right amount of coin, but for now, I think we're gonna head over. I need coin. We're broke. How else am I gonna keep feeding you those pies?
There's other ways that we can do this. I don't need the pies that bad.
Yeah, but they're not as efficient.
As you
Let's go.
you look at the other Dragonborn, he's a bit scrawnier, a bit more aware of what's going on in the surroundings as he stops you for a second. So you're low on coin and refugees?
I didn't say anything about being refugees. I know how to handle a blade well enough.
You mentioned the caravan. Therefore you're refugees.
I'm a guard, and this is my brother. He's just traveling with me.
We're fine.
Relax. What skills do you have? There might be another way for you to earn some coin around here. I can point you in the right place.
I've done this and that. I've sold my blade more than a few times, and I'm quite skilled with it. I know my way around I know a bit of magic.
Well, I know there's a few eggheads at the college here. Looking to investigate some ruins outside of Freehold. Couple-day journey at Dragon's Watch. You might find something there. And you, as he gestures to you, Andrew?
Um,
What are you good for? As he kind of gets a little bit of an impatient tone.
well, that I can do some cool tricks.
Tricks?
You want to see this pie tray disappear?
Sure,
He's
humor me,
talk.
boy.
And I hold up the pie tray
Hmm.
and I show that it's empty, and then I crumble it up, and then I put it in my pocket.
You're a funny one, aren't you? Alright, well, you might get by
The
on telling some
funniest.
jokes at a few of the inns past the other side of the bazaar.
He'll be good with me at the ruins. Andrew knows a thing or two about a lot of things. I'm sure he could help identify some of the artifacts. You said some of the it was some of the mages at the college that were interested in looking into these ruins.
Yes, there's a few relics that they've pulled out over these years. They're a bit confused as to some of the nature of them. So,
And how many days away? You said.
Dragon's Watch, maybe 2 days.
I won't have the time. Unfortunately, our caravan leaves the day after tomorrow.
Hmm.
Thanks, though.
Fat chance of that, as he kind of laughs.
Why?
Are you kidding? All the problems that have been cropping up on the way south lately. The Tomb of the Bright Claw's been pouring out undead abominations, and the bandits near Trafalgar is higher than usual these days. I doubt any caravan without double the god versus the refugees is moving through there.
Give Andrew a look.
See, this is why we shouldn't have left, Marcus. I don't even know why we left.
Business. So, are they holding up all of the caravans, or are they just are people just stopping out of fear?
They'll let you go, but we're not sending any more people to rescue you. And honestly, I don't think I've seen anything but caravan wreckage moving south these days. Dead men or soon to be dead men.
Shit.
Did you hear him, Marcus?
I did. We should probably go let the captain know.
Go home.
Which
I'm not
captain
going
is that?
home. Ah, God, I only met him. I only joined a few days ago. What was his name, Andrew? Do you remember? I think something Bright.
Oh, why? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember. But I know he's over near the gates. I'll go see over if I can find him.
Beats me. As the other one, the burlier one, just kind of annoyed with the whole conversation. Alright, get out of here unless you've got coin to watch, or steal the swing. As he kind of nods. And not the worst parlor trick I've ever seen, Andrew. Well done. As we're going to, so you're going to go tell the captain, his name Hawken Light, about the trouble on the road here?
Well, so Andrew, do you want to go and check out what the noise is about, or do you want to go see Hawken?
We can go see Hawken.
Fair enough.
Alright, so you'll turn back walking through the bazaar, and we're going to cut over to Gomni, who's about 3 or 4 drinks deep. The guards along your shoulders have been rather kind to you as of late. If you want to give me 2 more fortitude saves here. As they keep buying progressively harder and harder liquor, testing the theory that dwarves can't get drunk on anything but dwarven ale.
Yes, keep in mind that my poison resist is not necessarily built into my fortitude save down here.
Yes, I've been adding a couple unless you're changing it.
Nope. It's still
Alright, and one more. Okay, alright. So, for a good half an hour, you've been absolutely slamming them back with no problem, and now you've got a little bit of a flushed face, as the one to your left is basically passed out against the bar, and the other one's been kindly paying for the drinks out of the passed out one's purse here. As he looks over at you, his eyes a little cloudy. About time. What, 7 now? As the barkeep's just kind of shaking his head.
I just kind of give him a grin. There's not been a man alive that wasn't a dwarf that could stand it, or that could drink a dwarf under the table. I'm feeling all right. Just what I needed after that long trek.
Hmm. Maybe not a man alive, as you hear from behind you. You turn and see a dragonborn woman who's got a few empty kegs around her and puts her arm up on the table and kind of looks at you. You said not a man alive. How about a woman?
Ah, well, there's the trick, isn't it? Never drink a woman under the table, because
Hmm.
then you'll find yourself in a bigger mess.
Hmm. Cute. But I'd be happy to buy us a few rounds, see if I can't take a few coins off of you. As she points to the dice on the table. Liar's dice is my game.
Ah, see there, you've got me on edge. Never played.
Hmm. Oh well, could have been fun. As you kind of turn back here, go ahead and give me one more perception check, as you do see catch a little bit of movement out of your corner of your eye here.
Still not great.
Hey, better
14.
good enough to get smittering here. Um, as you hear, did you hear that? It sounded like the trap in there. Yeah, it does. Hopefully, it's just Boris being an idiot again. If not, as he taps, you see him tap a long dagger at his side with almost a curved tip. We'll have more trash to get rid of. As they stand up, and you kind of catch out of the other corner of your eye here that the barkeep's a little bit pale. As he sees them stand up and start stepping behind the countertop here.
I'm gonna wave the bartender over like as a patron, and I'm gonna ask him if they you know what goes great with drink is food. What have you got on menu?
Um, of course, as he kind of shakes himself out of it. Um, we've got one of our specialties, um, skewered quillbone. The meat's soft and just fatty enough to leave you full. Or we have a stew with bread. Stew harvests a few ingredients from around the verdant expanse.
While he's talking, I'm gonna look out of the corner of my eye and watch those guys that were clearly making him nervous. And once they're out of eye shot of him, I'm gonna ask him if there's something wrong.
couple of couple of men been using my cellar for things I don't know much about. But I can't afford to pay the protection money to the House of Shadows, so basically no guards. They've been squatting for about a month now.
Is it just the two of them?
No, but they're the ones I see the most. There's maybe 2 or 3 more of them come and go.
Hmm.
Where do you think I got the scar? As you take a little bit closer look, you realize it's not faded and old like you originally expected. It almost seems fresh and deep, marring his face.
Hmm.
I don't have much, but if you could take care of that for me, I'd well give you drinks till you were under the table.
Well, I'm just one dwarf. There's not much I can do, and I kind of look to my left and right of my two drinking companions,
Yeah.
and they're clearly in no shape to help me. But I know some I know some men that I've traveled with on the caravan guard. I'll see if I can find them. See what we can do about that.
I appreciate it. I'll scrape together what corn I can.
Yeah. We'll settle up after if we actually solve your problem.
Appreciate it, and if you're starting to lose, just don't mention my name. I like my eyes where they are, thank you.
Who?
Exactly.
And I'm gonna reach over to the passed out man, take whatever coin is left that we owe for the bar tab, toss it in front of the bartender, and then I'm gonna hop down off and get ready to take off.
Alright. As you see the other guard, the one that's still conscious, kind of slapping his face and refocusing his eyes. Okay, Ricardo, what are we doing? As he lifts up the unconscious, lightweight leatherware over here.
Oh, you boys stay. Enjoy yourselves. Relax. You've had a long day. Just don't miscount tomorrow.
Yeah, noon. Got it. As he kind of
All
lets
right.
out a breath. Wolves are one thing. I'd rather not have to deal with any of something that makes this old bastard scared. As he sits back down in his chair. Holler if you need us. I'll do what I can to wake him up. As he kind of just starts slapping his face. So you were heading back towards the caravan to pick up a few reinforcements, is that right?
I was
Or
the
what exactly are you doing here?
well, I Pack had interested me in following him, and I'm gonna see if I can't find his meandering rear end.
Okay. Quick question, Pack. You don't wear shoes, is that right?
That is right.
Okay, that helps me. Thanks. so,
Oh
so
no, that's dangerous.
no, I needed
I
to
don't
make
like
sure.
that
No,
question.
I just had to know for reasons. All right.
Run,
Just,
Pack, run.
just for reasons. So you kind of step out and see if you can't catch up with Pack. You realize the gilded coin is maybe 10 minutes from where the caravan's stationed for the night. As you get there, you do see that he's not really around, but if you want to roll me a perception or a survival, either would be fine to continue here. All right. Perception with a 19. So you do see, as you've come to realize, traveling with him and fighting alongside him, he has disgusting feet, and they happen to leave a trail wherever he's walking for a few steps at the very least. I guess that'll happen when you keep getting blood all over them, right? So you do see a few footprints leading down an alley where you know that man who fleeced him for his last 2 silvers walk down, and you'll also see a mop of blonde hair and a mop of brown hair walking towards you from down the road. You recognize them. You haven't interacted too much. Marcus was assigned to the middle of the section, so you guys have worked a little bit, but you're not very familiar with the figure next to him.
I'll wave him over, and yeah, you're one of our guards, aren't you?
Yeah, you must be. I think we met a few days ago when I joined. I'm your Gomni. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the man bringing
this
up
is
your
my
rear
brother.
guard. And I'll stick out, the hearty dwarven handshake to Andrew.
What's up, Gomni? If you excuse me real quick.
As you hear a whining in the distance, as you've been closer to the caravan, you look over and see a raggedy mutt tied up on the caravan here, looking mournfully at Marcus and Andrew.
Salary, what's up, boy? And I'm gonna start petting him.
As he wags his
Uh,
tail and flops his ears.
Sorry, Gomni. I forgot about the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost looks indignant for a moment when you say that. Kind of giving you hurt eyes.
I didn't mean it. Sorry.
Do you want me to absentmindedly reach into like a side pouch and pull a piece of hardtack
That'll
and
work.
just chuck it toward the dog?
As it leaps a good 3 or 4 feet up to catch this biscuit. It strains against its bonds, and you almost see bulging muscle in its neck. Like it's not as wiry as it first appears. As it chomps it down, barely even chewing, which is impressive, as you know, for a hardtack biscuit, considering they could absorb the ocean. Popeye's got nothing. And settles back down before kind of pulling on his lead towards you.
All right,
It's,
Andrew. Let him off his leash. He can come along.
Hey. But anyway, Marcus, look, I know we're hired to protect the cards, but I seem to have stumbled into a situation in hand, and I could use some backup if you'd be willing.
I don't think we've got anything else going on. After this, I've got to find Hawken anyway.
Told you it was dangerous.
Well, just to let you know, seems like the local innkeeper is being strong armed by the local guild.
And so he's hired you to take care of it then.
For the most part, he's willing, but
What's the fee?
well, he'll feed us, and he says he's going to get some coin for us together.
All right, I'll do it for part of the coin. And Andrew, you'll be fine. Just bring along the dog.
Oh,
You stay next to Sari and you'll be fine.
Whoa, whoa,
Behind
whoa.
me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Food. What type of food?
All the food and drink you can eat.
All right, let's go, Marcus.
All right.
But remember, as I turn to him with a really serious look, you stay behind me.
Yeah, whatever. And I'm going to start walking ahead of him.
And I
As-
do think bringing the dog would be a good idea.
Yeah.
We might find there was a goblin, I think. Pack is his name. He could be useful.
As when you say that, Sari kind of perks its head and starts sniffing around, before it kind of leans its head almost inquisitively towards you.
Do we have anything of Packpacks? Maybe something he dropped or something he held. Sari would be able to track him with that.
Well, he's really well known of walking without shoes. You can find his nasty footprints pretty much everywhere.
Where was he standing before? If you can point that out, we could start from there. Sari's
I
got a
could-
keen nose.
I could take you to the last place I saw him.
That'll work.
We'll do that then.
I put Sari back on the leash.
Alright, so you get the distinct grr every time you put the leash on Sari. But Dog will trot over to where Gomni points out here and starts sniffing at these blackened footprints that Pack has left behind as he's traveled through muck and gore these last few weeks. Go ahead and roll a survival for Sari here.
All right. As I'll kind of encourage him on, come on, Sari, you can do it, boy.
Alright,
Where is he?
Go ahead and give Sari advantage on this check.
All right, let me pull up Sari's character sheet. Give me just a second. You got to. Can you give me access to it as a player? I didn't give myself access.
Yes, I should be able to do that. For the time being, I'm going to roll it, and then I'll do that in just a second for you.
That'll work.
Alright, let me see. Skills. Okay. That advantage was important, I'll just put it that way. As Sari starts bolting down this alley before looking away back at you guys following these, as the footprints do begin to fade. But he's still got the scent here.
Oh, come on, let's follow him. As I kind of take off after the dog.
I will go as fast as my dwarven feet can carry me.
Come on, little guy.
As you say that, you almost notice that Sari seems to slow down their considerable pace. A rather intelligent mutt as far as you've seen so far. And it will take you down the alley before it cuts and scratches at a cellar, which Gomni you recognize as the same exact inn you were just previously in.
Well, that would be the noise. I think we found our pack and the source of where we were going anyway.
Oh, are the cellar doors locked?
As you go to pull them, they do for some reason seem to be locked at the moment.
As I kind of give me just a second. As I kind of look around and try to pick the lock, really kind of shielding, standing between the lock and Andrew. As I will. Let's see, that's a 15.
Just like we used to do back at home.
Okay. So you feel with your practice from your history here, you realize the lock is giving you a little bit of trouble, and it takes you maybe 2 or 3 minutes longer than normal before it clicks, and you're able to open the cellar here. As you look around, you see a table with what looks like flowers, a bucket of paint next to it, some shelving filled with materials, and roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Gomni, you may as well add in your stone cunning bonus here.
That's a big fat 9.
Yeah, you're very blind to anything out of the ordinary. You do see one door that leads up, but you hear normal bar chatter from up there. So with stone cunning, that's what, an 11? All right. As neither of you seem to see anything before, sorry.
I guess with stone cunning it's advantage.
Oh, is it
So,
advantage? Okay, roll it
Yeah.
again then. Sorry, still translating some things.
Yep, yeah, you're good. Good.
It's all. It's an
all
11.
It's an 11 anyway, so look at that. The DM had spoken and the dice gods had heard me.
Oh, look, they helped him a sword.
So, it's all right as Sari kind of looks around and then just seemingly leans up to pee on an unsuspecting spot before sort of walking away, looking meaningfully at Andrew and Marcus here.
Sorry. Really?
As you take a closer look, you realize he relieved himself on what looks to be a string with an iron ring.
Oh, no, he found something. As I'm going to go to examine the string further.
As he puffs himself up in the background.
Good boy, sorry, as I throw him a bit of jerky.
He will devour it in one bite. So,
Is this the same iron ring that Pack found earlier?
It is
that was
indeed.
to the wall. So is it still?
it does seem
Relief-
to be
still
pulled
back?
against the wall again.
Okay. So I'm in no threat of it going off at this point.
It
What is
looks
what
like
you're
it has
saying.
been reset, I should say.
Give me a moment and let me see if I can disable this. 18.
Alright, so with an 18, you give it a light tug just out of the wall, and you see that the bolt is chambered in a hole in the wall on the other side. As one of you at this point can walk over and pluck the bolt out of the wall to prevent it from firing.
Andrew, can you go grab that bolt?
I walk over there and grab the bolt.
Alright, so you may add one paralysis bolt to your inventory. It seems to be a filed down bolt from a crossbow. As the latch pops and the floor is opened, leading down a slope into the darkness here.
Well, that's no good. As I kind of touch my finger to my eyes, as my eyes illuminate violet.
Okay. So you do this just in front of them, or?
I kind of look down the hallway, and with my eyes illuminating like that, I have dark vision now.
Okay. Then perfect. So you have dark vision. So how are you doing this? Are you going first immediately, or are you going to...
Oh, I'm not going first. I'm just looking down there. I'm making the dwarf go as I turn to Gomni. After you.
Can you even see down there?
Suits me.
Yes, I can see. You stand in between me and Gomni. Try to hold on to the back of his armor so you don't get lost. I'm not sure that I want to light anything down here.
I'd rather you didn't. I can see better without the torch.
Alright, so as you file yourselves down with Andrew in the middle of you guys, we're going to go ahead and cut over to Pack here. Pack, as you stumble your way down into the darkness here, remind me, do you have dark vision?
Nope.
Alright.
Ooh, yeah.
Alright, so as you stumble your way down in the darkness, running your hands along the walls and things of that nature, I'm going to go ahead and need you to give me a reflex save.
Yep. Where is it at? There it is. 10.
10. Alright. So, you feel a distinct stabbing through your foot here, with what sounds like grinding gears, as you will take 3 points of damage,
Yep.
and I need a fortitude save from you.
15.
Alright, so you'll pass and not be paralyzed. Before you hear it grinding and sort of rearming itself here, as you kind of let out a tiny squeal, it echoes down this area here. You kind of drag yourself up and you feel what feels like a wooden crate here. No lock, but it is currently closed.
Wooden crate. That's all I feel. I'm gonna run my hands all around it,
Okay.
see if there's like any lumps or anything out of place.
So you feel the cold iron handle on the side closest to you here.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to attempt to pop open whatever it is.
Okay. So you go ahead and pull open this thing, and you still can't see anything, but do you rifle about in this crate, or?
I take one of my throwing axes and I kind of like stir it around in the crate to see if
Okay.
anything goes off.
Alright, so it makes some grumbling noise in there, ruffling, and it sounds like something hits steel before you see a tiny spark. And almost an outline of a wooden stick with cloth around the end of it.
Uh, back up.
You back away from the crate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have seen such wooden sticks with cloth around them before, Pack. They are torches, just so you're aware. And
It just
as
kind of jumped out. I was like, I don't know.
okay, so it scared you a little bit. All right. After your momentary panic, you do realize that is a torch, and what you had struck was probably a flint, and the steel from your axe had created that spark.
Oh. I pick up the torch, pick up the flint, and I start to try to light the torch.
All right, so it catches without much fuss. It seems like these torches were prepared fairly recently, as a dim light flickers around, and you get a better sense of your scenario, your situation. As you look around here, you do see a few what looks like pickaxe marks, as though this might have had some kind of ore in it originally. Um, but as you look, you see the hallway stretching long outside the vision you have with your torch here. Before, give me a perception check.
12.
All right. So you hear what sounds like footsteps descending the ladder, but you can't quite make out any conversation.
I put that torch out, and how wide is the hallway?
The hallway's about 10 by 10, or well, 10 foot wide, maybe 15. So I'd say 15 feet wide.
Is there any like hand grips that I saw in the wall from the oars that were mined out that I could like climb the wall a little bit?
As you kind of look around and look up, you do see a tiny section that's concave, almost like there was an ore vein there that you could maybe, if you were able to hold yourself up above on the ceiling, you might be able to tuck your way into that section there.
All right. What kind of check am I looking at?
So you're going to need an athletics to lift
Athletics.
yourself and hold yourself up there.
Okay. 24.
All right, so you make the leap, making barely any sound at all with that insane check, and at level 2, that's ridiculous. As you leap up and tuck yourself in, and you're holding yourself against the wall as the footsteps get closer and closer and closer. Go ahead and roll stealth here, as you're trying not to breathe too raspily, holding yourself into the ceiling.
13.
Okay. So as the talking gets closer, you hear them saying things between the two of them as you realize it's the same people you had saw earlier, including the man who had asked you for those 2 silvers. As they get closer, you hear them stating to one another, "So another 10 minutes down this hallway and we get to meet the boss?" "Yeah, but don't say anything. And honestly, don't even breathe funny. She can be, testy. Besides, I don't need to lose another partner in 2 weeks. You don't want to know what she does to the ones who piss her off." "Hey, wait a second, did you hear that?" As they kind of look around for a second, the torch, it's not in the crate. As they strike it up and look around.
I drop down, primal savagery, punch one in the face.
Alright, so go ahead and roll your hit here. We're going to theater of the mind this little encounter. And see if you can hit this. Which one are you aiming at? The poorly dressed robed one, or
Whichever one was directly below me, I guess.
Okay, so you're aiming at the more finely dressed one. It looks like Big Brain Girl has redeemed Ada Hero here, so go ahead and critically strike this this individual here.
Oh,
I
okay.
see. You claim all the help when I'm not playing. I see how it is. So,
Do I just do this and then times 3?
with your fists, it's times 2.
Oh, I thought it crit on 20 times 3.
No, if you have a natural
Nope.
weapon,
Okay.
it'd be, but no, it
Okay,
looks like
then
just a times 2.
18, and then I roll a d10 for primal savagery.
All right, so give me the damage here.
So it is 18, and then 5 acid damage.
All right, so jeez, 23 points of damage. As this guy drops like a bag of potatoes, just absolutely crumbles to the ground from the additional damage that I had given you off screen from collapsing down in his skull like this. As the other one kind of squeals, echoing off the cavern. Andrew, Marcus, and Gomni, give me a perception check at this point.
All right.
Okay, so we have
Big fat 12 from
all
me.
right, 12, 18, and Andrew, if you want to go ahead and give me that last perception check here.
Oh, last perception. I'm trying to find it real quick.
No problem.
Sorry, that I'm kind of new to this whole sheet.
You're completely
Okay.
fine. They should be alphabetical, so.
We are using Foundry. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, I just found it.
Alright.
Perception. Did I roll? Oh, well, that's
All
not
right.
it.
Perfect. So, as two of you
Yeah.
will hear what sounds like a deafening blow echoing out through this caravan before a almost girlish scream of panic from someone down the way. Echoing throughout this area.
And you said it sounds like combat?
Yes, you heard a cracking blow into a skull and then a squeal of panic from another voice down the way.
All right. I draw my war axe with long wooden handle, more like a Norse war axe really than a dwarven war axe, and a dagger in my shield in my other hand as I go. Come on!
All right, so you'll race to catch up. Sounds
Since I'm in the lead, I just kick into high gear with my mate or my hammer and my shield in tow, and then I scream back to Andrew, "Hold on, lad!" Take off.
all right. So you start taking off. Andrew, you hear him just start booking it down the way as Marcus is bringing up the rear here.
And we still don't see anything, right?
No, you don't see anything. At this point, they just see a tunnel going downward, but they haven't quite made out any figures, just the noise.
Okay, and is Saru with us?
Saru struggled, but yes, he did come with you. You almost had to catch him as he basically took the plunge with you guys below, but yes, he is with you.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Sari, and then as I'm petting him, I'm gonna cast light on Sari,
Okay.
so I can see.
So Sari almost begins to glow with this blue light here. That honestly, Big Brain Girl, that was really important because that was the one who needed to go down. So well done. As Sari seems to glow with this blue light, giving you about 15 to 20 feet of vision, if I recall.
And then I'm going to follow. I think it was Marcus that was second, but I'm going to follow Marcus.
All right, so you follow after them as the glow puppy is bounding by your side. So we're going to flash over to Pack here as you guys will be joining in at this next round. As the one who's panicking kind of gets a look of realization on his face, and says, "You played me. You played me."
You played Pack and almost catch Pack. Nobody catch Pack.
Oh yeah, well, as he reaches into his robes and pulls out a club, pretty rudimentary, but it does have an iron spike nailed through it. Well, you might have taken down Rorik, but I'm much better fighter than he is. As he goes to swing at you, oh my god, crit on the first. Okay. Please don't die. Alright, so as this blow lands unerringly into the side of your head, kind of making you woozy for a moment, and you will take 10 points of damage. That random club considerably better than what I was expecting. As he almost seems emboldened by the swing. As it's your turn, and you will hear what sounds like footsteps coming from the direction of the ladder.
So I'm going to start shaking uncontrollably and just grunt really hard. I mindful rage.
All right. So still able to take intelligent actions, but you are in your rage state. What do you do now that you've sufficiently pissed yourself off?
I punch him twice, and then I'm going to do a swift third punch to his gut with flurry of blows.
All right, go for it.
And then the new rage is advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
is
that
much
was a
better.
crit fail. And a crit! Yeet!
All right, great. Jeez. Okay,
And then
all right.
second attack. 21.
That will hit.
Backpack getting all the nat 20s this game.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, one
And then the
was
third
player
attack-
assist, so
Third attack is 11. That was not a
that's
minus
gonna
two.
miss.
Okay.
That is gonna miss.
Oh.
So go ahead and give me the damage here.
So 12 damage for the first hit,
Okay.
and then 11 damage for the second hit.
All right. So he kind of drops to one knee for a moment before you will also see a look of rage upon his face, as he will try to level you with a powerful blow here. Let's see. Does a 17 hit your AC?
No.
All right. So it kind of you duck and dodge out of the way as those footsteps finally arrive, and Gomni, just as who you're familiar with, shows up in your range of vision here.
Gomni caught up, pack.
As you see Pack sitting there with a rather grisly wound on his head, but other than that, there's one downed combatant, and the other one looks to be on his last legs.
Sure. I told you I'd catch up.
As the guy kind of looks at you, and the rage starts to drain off of his face. I give up. Can I go, please? I don't even really know him, as he's just kind of fumbling and backing a little bit further down the hallway, 5 foot step at a time.
Grapple.
All right.
I'm just gonna look at him and tell him, "Get on your knees, lad. You're not going anywhere."
So he goes to get on his knees before he's tackled by a flying green monstrosity.
One punch to knock him out.
So you're trying to grapple him. So
Yep.
first that I got a
Oh,
21.
fair enough.
Pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
So what did you get for your grapple here?
19. Sorry.
All right. So he kind of like throws you backwards as you kind of bounce off of him, and he just gets on the ground. And he's like, "Just keep that thing away from me. I hate greenskins." As he sets the club down.
Where my money?
As he points to the unconscious man. He takes
Where
all the money I
your
get.
money?
He takes all the money I get.
I take the money.
All right, so you take the money off of this unconscious, possibly dead man, as you don't really care to check. As you find 3 silver pieces and 14 worms.
Okay.
So I assume at this point we're coming around the corner.
Yeah, you guys have caught
I-
up at this point, and you just see him picking over the pockets of this well-dressed
Ah,
individual.
shit! We missed all the fun. Ah, there's still one left. I begin to walk over.
I'm gonna ask the man, remind me again. What was the crew that the bartender mentioned to me?
He mentioned that he couldn't afford the protection from the House of Shadows, so other brigands have started messing with him. It's not the House of Shadows bullying him; they're just not protecting him, which let this situation occur.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look. It was like, now I know there's more than just the two of you. Where are the rest of your crew?
As you hear me from the back, ask about lady.
Well, I'm pretty new, so I don't know how many there are, but our boss, she's scary, man. She's got magic, and I've never seen anything like that before. There's maybe a dozen of us, but we're not all in the hideout at the same time. I don't really... as you realize he's kind of breathing really fast and he's pretty afraid for his life at the moment.
Slow down, boy. Breathe, and you might get out of this.
Okay.
Now, where's your hideout?
Uh, this is going to be the first time that I got to see it. But it's supposed to be, he said, about 10 more minutes down the hallway, and then there's a fake stone wall that'll lead into the area where we gather.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. When I oh, that's never mind. No, that's a wisdom check. That's a 12.
So fair enough. As best you can tell, he's saying what he knows. Whether or not that's the actual fact is unknown. But that's the extent of his knowledge.
He seems fearful enough to be telling us the truth since we've got him outnumbered, 4-1.
And that thing is he kind of like forgets that he's in a pretty bad spot at the moment. Survived getting impaled through the skull, so as you do realize it's a pretty grievous wound on the temple of Pack over here, still bleeding a little bit.
I'd watch your tongue, boy, otherwise that thing might decide to snap your neck.
I'm
I
very
look
well
at him.
known for eating people.
I look at him and go, yeah.
As he kind of like presses himself a little bit further into the cavern wall here. Right, sorry. And yeah, there's a dozen that I know of. I've met 4 of them, and he's one of them. And the captain, she uses magic. As he goes back into this kind of hyperventilating mode, repeating things he's already said.
What you guys do tonight? Who you pay off in guard?
I don't know most of them. We only go after places the House of Shadows doesn't protect, because if you don't, you're just not around anymore.
Who you go after tonight?
Well, the plan was to hit something pretty important, but I really honestly don't know where yet.
I am going to roll insight on this one.
Okay.
$13.
Okay. So you get the feeling that he's not exactly telling the truth in this case. There seems to be...
I wrap my hand around his neck and say, "Tell Pack now."
The Iron Forge. We were gonna knock it over to some real weapons to go after one of the captain's enemies.
I throw him against the other wall and say, "Out."
As he scrambles, he will pick up the long dagger from...
The moment he reaches for that dagger, I'm just going to step on it.
Alright, so he kind of looks up at you and he kind of chuckles a little. Had to try, as he books it up and out the...
At this point, you're lucky we leave you your shoes.
Pack need new shoes.
As he picks up the pace, double moving the rest of the way out of here. As Sari and Andrew trot up to you both.
Well, boys, shall we set an ambush at the Iron Forge?
Oh, give Pack second. Need a hurt head.
Yeah,
As
Your head hurt?
As I placed my hands against my head and my hands begin to glow blue and the stitch begins to close itself shut.
There you go. The Mystic class really good. Alright, so you see the wound kind of stitch itself over. It does leave a bit of a scar, maybe just a pinprick or two in the side of his head, but it seems like his body grew the flesh back over. It's not exactly the same as healing magic you've seen in the past.
Well, at least you're not bleeding anymore.
Oh, head hurt.
Yeah.
Well, what are we gonna do with this body? I don't want to leave it out for someone else to find.
Sari's
it in
kind
his
of
trunk.
sniffing over the corpse there and starts chewing at something on his sleeve.
Bad dog. But I'm like pushing away, trying to see what he's chewing at.
So you see a tattoo which looks like a pierced rose on it there, colored in extremely well. They must have someone in the gang who does these.
Andrew, you ever seen this in a book before?
I'm not
Roll
sure.
me knowledge history.
See.
You're the one who reads.
Knowledge history. 17.
Okay, so you're not intimately familiar with all of the gangs, but you did grow up in Korisk, and this tattoo is similar to what the Gilded Rose may have had. It looks like an offshoot of the one of the gangs there, and the rose is painted black.
So would I recognize is it like that offshoot?
So if you want to give me a raw intelligence roll, you may.
Now that he
Now that
maybe
I'll narrow
after
it
he
down
brings
for
it
you.
up.
Yeah.
Nope, that's a 7.
Yeah, well, you really can't place it, but you knew so many gangs back then that it's hardly surprising. They must not have been anything special, as best you can remember. So, as you are looking at the tattoo on his wrist, however, you realize that the rise and fall of his chest has officially stopped. As he is
So,
now deceased.
well, I guess I'll search him to see if he had anything else but the coin on him.
So he
Anything
does have
interesting?
that strange long curved dagger. On him, it's almost seems like it's got thorns along the side of it.
Does it
And
look valuable?
It does. It does look valuable.
All right. I go, well, we can keep this and sell it later.
And
What
you
else you
realize
got?
that. Let's see. What else would he have? He looks like he has a couple of days of trail rations. Looks like he has 3 days of trail rations.
Meh.
And
I'll take it.
he was already taken of his coin, and he has a gilded rose emblem in his bag here.
Is it like a talisman or
It
like
looks
a
like
brooch?
cheap. It looks like cheap silver, like dirty and tarnished, but it does have an imprint of a rose on it.
This might be useful. It looks like it's similar to the tattoo. It might be an emblem of his organization. What do you guys think?
As he shows it to
Possible.
you.
I've seen guilds. I've seen plenty of guilds that use emblems in Family Crest, even.
It's possible. I'll slide it in my pocket. We might use this in order to get access to their hall without having to knock the door down.
Well, we could either head for that hall that he's mentioned, or we could set up our own ambush at the Iron Forge. Wait for
That
them
also
to hit
works.
it and attack them.
It's up to you, belly of the beast, or try to spring a trap.
I'm more comfortable with the trap. It'll give us time to prep.
Perfect.
At this point, since we're done with the body, I look around. No point in leaving a trace. Is I hold my hand to it, and as I touch his chest, the body begins to decompose until it's just
It's in a
ashes.
gruesome fashion as the smell of bile fills the air as the stomach lining is opened.
Smells like home.
Yeah, those of you who are familiar with the battlefield, it's not an uncommon smell, and it practically doesn't phase you at this point. But Andrew, give me a fortitude save.
Andrew is going to give you a fortitude save. He is going to roll the dice. All right. I got a 6.
All right, so you feel the telltale sign of bile rising in your throat before you heave up a chunk of that meat pie you had eaten earlier, and as you do, you see some. Give me a perception check.
I got a 13.
All right. So as you do that, you see what looks to be some kind of tooth from an animal in the chunks of meat of pie that you had hawked up there.
I see it, and then I throw up again.
Yep. So it looks like maybe a dog's tooth or something like that. At least it's not.
All I can think of is Sweetie
No,
Todd.
bro,
I was gonna say, at least it's not a human
Oh,
meat pie. All right.
They're pulling a human tooth out of a meat
Nope,
pie.
nope. This one was a dog tooth. I thought about it. I was like, nah, we're not there yet. So
As I'm holding a dog. Okay.
But
Yeah.
even with the smell, like used to the smell of battle, it's just gonna look at him and be like, I don't know what kind of trick that was, lad, but could you warn somebody first?
got to cover up our tracks.
I
Now no
don't-
one's here to find the body.
I don't disagree, but that is fucking horrendous.
as you all begin.
As I was completely unfazed by the whole thing.
Yeah, this is your bog standard as you just kind of do this, and Andrew's very not happy and not having a great time over there. So you do with your those of you with dark vision, as the torches are extinguished at this point, you do see a crate along the side, and a fallen torch next to it.
Sure, let's crack it with a pry bar or a dagger or something.
All right, so you bust out a tool to crack it open, and Pack can't see anything, so he's not going to be able to clarify
Yep.
for you. It takes a surprisingly little force to jar that open. As you look inside, you see there's a couple of other torches, as well as a bullseye lantern and 2 pints of oil in here. So, if you wanted to loot it,
A bullseye lantern is always useful. Take that and the oil that you use to burn with it.
perfect. All right, so that is everything here, and you had mentioned you'd rather set a trap at the Iron Forge,
Yeah.
instead of pursuing the heading into the snake den. Completely understandable. So you'll start heading back. I'm assuming going back up the tunnel here.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I'll lead if Pack like he's blind as shit. I'll lead him out. Of course, Andrew has to be let out as well. So
Luckily, Sari is still glowing at the moment, so they do have limited vision, but it's not as far as your dark vision allows.
Just some throw up on her.
She definitely got out of the way, and surprisingly enough, she doesn't go after the bile you have spilled.
like, no, don't eat that.
So,
Yeah, I start walking out too.
alright. So you all head back up the cellar here. Pack nursing a head wound. As when you get up there, you realize that the trap is still disarmed, but the barkeep is actually standing in the cellar, kind of looking at the 4 of you coming up in shock.
Hmm.
Is it done then?
Some lady still down there.
Only a couple of them, but we know where they're going to be tonight. Where's the Iron Forge?
Um, the smithy. It's on the other end of the bazaar from here. A dwarf by the name of Gorik runs it. Um, you can't miss it. He's the only forge on the block.
Sure. Yeah, I'm. We the two that were in the bar earlier, they're dealt with, but we know of at least roughly a dozen more. But I'm not. We're not going to drag ourselves in there if they're not all there. But we know where they're going to be tonight.
I'm glad to hear it. I can't believe there's been a dozen strangers in my bar.
Hmm.
As he kind of looks down. I guess I should have been paying the protection money whether I could afford it or not.
It's normally smart.
I'm not a
As
big fan of shadow groups, but if they keep you protected, well, might as well.
I didn't think it'd
He
be so
told
bad.
Pack he no have more money.
He might not have, but his organization does. Why'd you stop paying? You should know better in order. You should know better.
Well, the House of Shadows started jacking their rates right around when the refugee boom started. They said more refugees equals more crime, equals more costs. So, that I can understand, but 4 times the rate in as little as 2 months? I can't afford that. I can't afford a dragon a month. As you realize, that's an exorbitant price. Even back home, your protection rackets might charge a couple of silvers. Um,
That's ridiculous.
my thoughts
You
exactly.
got you got fucking dragons running around the freehold.
They'd like to have us believe that. Something about some crazy cultists that have been popping out of Isker. So, I don't know if I believe half of it. But thank you for what you've done so far, and if it's too dangerous, it's not worth your lives to try to ease my
We can
burdens.
handle it, but there's a simple matter of how much coin you can get together in order for us to handle it. A dozen men is no small task.
As he kind of winces, I can maybe pay 5 silvers per man, and room and board as long as you need.
Will there be food?
Of course, and drinks as well.
I'm in.
Pack
Fine.
do it for free as long as you answer one question.
Uh, go ahead, as he like is immediately pleased.
Well, Pack want to know what is cultist.
As he kind of cocks his head at you, and his dragonborn eyes kind of look at you for a second, and with kind of like disbelief. A cultist is like a religious fanatic that believe that something along the lines of their god is a true god, and they're willing to commit heinous acts in their name.
I'm just gonna lean in a pack. Crazy priests.
That about covers it,
Oh,
Pack.
oh, okay. Crazy healer. Got it.
Well, Pack may be willing to offer his services for free, but I'm not. I'll take the 5 silver. You'll pay my brother and my dog too.
Well, since I happen to have 5 extra silver all of a sudden, as
Eh,
he kind of nods at Pack, I can give half up front.
you cover the room and drink, lad. I don't need to worry about coin in my pocket. I get paid from the caravan.
As he kind of, breathes a sigh of relief and will hand, he goes to hand 2.5 silvers to, Sorry, and he's like, kind of shakes his head and hands he hands 5 silvers to you, Marcus, and 2 silvers and 50, worms to you, Andrew.
That'll do.
And my finest stuff the moment you get back. As he nods to you, Gomni.
Count Pack in.
No offense, lad, but as long as it's not that floral shit again.
Yeah, it's not originally part of my menu. As he gestures to the paint can and the regular flowers that are on the table. Kind of something they made me do.
Oh, that's fucking
Well,
gross.
well, once we're done with this, I'll be happy to pour out the barrels myself.
You've got it. And I, as he kind of puffs a little bit of flame in his mouth, will take care of the evidence. Um, and he kind of, since he knows you're going to go do this, you see him close this, and he's pretty strong. He does lift, basically drags the shelf over the hole here, so that no one can come back up through this way. As he kind of spits. I'm done
Get
with
rid
them,
of
one way or
get rid
another.
of trap hold.
Yeah, that's why he covered it. He can't land.
I talk about rewiring trap. We wire trap.
I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll see about reaching out for it. As he kind of nods to you. Didn't even know they put a damn trap there. As he kind of wishes you off, and he'll lock the cellar behind you when you leave. As you will begin either heading back to the caravan or going over to the Iron Forge. But right here, we're a bit over halfway through. We're going to go ahead and take our break, and we'll be back here in, let's see, it's 10:50 Central Time here, so we're going to come back in, say, 5 minutes or so. So we'll be back at 10:55. All right, see you guys here in just a minute. All right, and we are back, guys. Sorry about the break went over just a little bit there. I blame Pack Pack. And
Sorry.
we're going to get right back into it. Just before the break, they decided they were going to kind of regroup and actually set their trap of their own making at the Iron Forge armor smith. So we are going to resume right now. You guys have just exited this undercellar and are now sitting in the alley where you were originally.
So I think as
So,
far as plan, let's
what's
head
the
on
plan?
over to the Iron Forge and speak to the dwarf in charge and let him give him a warning, and B, and see what we can do to help save his business.
Pack, leave talking to you.
Sound good.
From your experience with Pack Pack, that's how it's normally been, Gomni.
That sounds great.
All right. As you begin meandering through, do you want to take the alleyway to get to the Iron Forge, or are you going through the bazaar?
Definitely the alleys. If they even try to go to the bazaar, I'm like, no, let's stay off the streets as much as we can.
Honestly, I could agree with you. The less people that see us, the better.
All right. So it'll take you a little bit longer to get there. By this point, it's maybe 5 in the afternoon, 6 in the afternoon, as the sun begins its descent. So you have a little bit of time. It takes you about a half hour to get there. And as you get there, you see that he's still hammering away at some plate in his forge.
I'll I'll switch to Dwarven to greet him out, just so he recognizes that we're there, because he's
So you step in and you hear almost a gong, not a bell, as he kind of looks up and you see that one of his eyes is cloudy and grayed out, as you realize he's only got one functioning eye left. What? Who's there?
again, I'm still speaking to Dwarven. I was like, kinsman.
Kinsman. You from the Grey Rock family?
No, Iron Shield family.
Oh, royalty then. Well,
I kind of look at Gomni for a moment and then back to the conversation.
Well, what can a humble smith do for you then?
Now, for the sake of those rest of you, since I don't know if any of them actually speak Dwarven, like I switch back to Common while speaking to them, so they understand. Just the greeting in Dwarven will catch him.
Yeah, he was also speaking in Dwarven when he realized you were. That first line was in Marcher.
Yeah, I understand Dwarven, so.
Being a dwarf, I don't expect everybody to. We were given some information that your Iron Forge is going to be raided tonight.
Again? You think I killed enough of them last time? As he reaches under the counter and pulls out a warhammer. How many this time?
Well, from our information, could be 12, could be less, could be more. Not entirely sure.
You say that and he widens his eyes. That's more than last time.
That's why we're here. We were seeing if you'd let us set up an ambush.
So you come telling me about an ambush, and you want to stay outside or in my shop after I've locked it? As he kind of gives you an even gaze.
I figured if they're gonna break in, why not have us waiting on the inside when they get here? I'm not saying you could join us, and crack a few skulls yourself.
Or I could just pay and be done with it, right?
Yes, you could pay us. That'll work, as I speak to him in Dwarfish. We'll take a few coins.
As he cocks the eyebrow over his milky eye. Huh. Yeah, you travel with some interesting folk, Mr. Iron Shield.
Yeah, we came through the caravan that's coming through town. We're actually doing a favor for your local innkeeper.
Ah, he couldn't afford the protection fee.
No, he couldn't, but luckily enough, you've got us, and I've dealt with more than my share of dwarves, if you've ever been up near Darender.
I hail from there, actually. I decided... wanted to own my own forge, though, and they're a bit, picky with who gets to do
Oh
that.
yeah, King Torum doesn't exactly like to let outsiders deal within his halls, but you seem to have some fine work here.
Of course I do. I was one of the best smiths who never got to work in the forges.
Well, we could definitely help you out here. Just a few silvers, and it wouldn't be a problem.
Hmm. You think you're worth a few silvers wearing all that crap? As he kind of looks you up and down.
This chainmail might not be heavy, but trust me, I know how to use it. As my eyes flare with like a purple flame.
Ugh, damned mages. As he kind of like, when you did it for a second, he kind of readied his hammer and then he untensed some old wounds there. A couple of silvers for the lot of you. Alright, I'll do 3 silvers a person, but you're really twisting my arm here. I want to see a few broken skulls.
I'll see if I can shatter some for you.
That's the current plan, and I like he's got his warhammer sitting in there. I'll just set mine up right on next to it.
Alright, well, how do you want to do this then? You're gonna hide in the rafters?
Yes.
I'm
That-
sure some of us that are more able to get up there, but it's not like I kind of look.
That was a joke. As he looks over at you.
Pack one rafter.
I'm not helping you get up there then.
Don't need jump.
Alright, roll that athletics. Let's see how this goes.
17.
Why do I ask? Alright, so you kind of scramble on that over the last couple inches before you get a firm grip and haul yourself up there. You got a time frame on when they're supposed to be breaking into my shop again?
All we heard was tonight.
Alright. As you see him pull out a crossbow from under there, as he pulls out some metal wire, wraps it around the handle and the trigger, and ties it around the door. Not my first rodeo. So we're gonna go ahead and move us over to the map.
We get a lot of this in this town.
More than you'd like, but less than I'm used to. As he kind of gestures towards his blind eye. The protection fees are fine for the majority of the problems, but for some reason there's a few of these gangs that either are paying them more than we are, or, well, there's been a bit of trouble lately. So,
Oh, let's see if we can get rid of one more troublesome thing.
appreciated. I'll be upstairs. If any of them get past you, I'll know you're dead, and you won't be getting paid. Deal?
Well, if I'm dead, I don't need the coin, then do I?
If he's dead, I'll take his coin.
I like you. Don't die. As he kind of like finishes tidying up and closing down his shop, as you see him carve runic inscriptions on some of these display cases.
What are those inscriptions he's putting on?
These are, you would recognize them as, there are a few of these back home where you're from, but these are actually protection runes that are charged with magic, in some manner. So it's the Dwarven Runecraft. It's really, really rare that there'd be an independent one, and the work doesn't look half bad.
Well, I'm going to denote the ones that are definitely don't touch.
Yeah. Yep. You see a beautiful suit of what looks to be maybe 3-inch thick interlocked plates of metal, fitted for a dwarf. If you want to roll knowledge history. If you don't have it, raw intelligence is fine too.
I've got one. One counts. You never know.
So you're not really sure what it looks like, but something in you kind of sings when you see this work of art. It doesn't look like there's a single vulnerability across the entire thing. The others of you may not have even seen anything of this craftsmanship before. So,
As far as pretty setting it up, definitely going to close any windows and lock them. Making sure that the chick. Is there any back doors or just one way in, one way out kind of room?
one way in, one way out. Unless you climbed up and got in through the second floor.
Gotcha. Um, so then definitely we'll, like I said, shut all the shutters and kind of prop ourselves. Since Pack's up in the rafters, I think the rest of us should find a very dark corner. Definitely stay out of way of that crossbow, because whoever the first man in isn't going to enjoy that.
Nope. As you realize, it's a heavy crossbow and a few inscriptions on the bolt itself.
But, and I will point out to the rest of them which of those runes to watch out for.
Oh, I've dealt with my fair share of dwarves. Believe me, I don't plan on fucking with any of them. Let's figure out where we're gonna set up. Andrew, do you want to take Sorry maybe behind the counter where you've got a bit of cover? I might try to fade into one of the corners here as I touch my forehead and I kind of mist of shadows swirls around me and I almost fade into the background.
I grab Sari and I go behind the counter.
Oi! Don't get any of the hair in my forge. I'm not dealing with that for weeks.
It burns out.
And it stinks like dog shit.
Believe me, you'll be glad before the end of the night that the dog was here.
Mm-hmm. I've seen warhounds that could rip that thing to shreds, boy. Don't try me. Kinsman, you might have a better shot leaning against one of these armor plates here. The last time they brought crossbows. And you look about the right frame to hide behind one. As he gestures to a space in between the armors. The left side of the room. Just a suggestion. There you go. Alright. So, as he kind of nods. Sorry, go ahead.
I look up to Pack. Pack, are you going to jump down on them when they enter the room?
As I hold a finger up and kind of throw a lightning leash out. That's for neck.
Fair enough. It might be best then to position yourself near the door. That way, if they try to escape, you can cut them off.
Where are the rafters?
So there's a rafter in the center of the room, which would be here. That goes all the way to the door and all the way to the back, and then there's two along the sides on these trails. So you can pick your poison. All right, that works. So you're above the door frame here, sitting on the rafter. Can
I roll stealth?
Yeah, I was actually about to ask.
I also need to roll stealth. With my spell, I cast earlier was Cloak of Darkness, so I have advantage on stealth checks for right now.
All right, go for it.
So, 25.
All
I
right.
hope they focus on everybody else.
So Gomni, if you do care to roll stealth, you will get advantage on this, as you're basically look like a mannequin.
I'm just gonna stand there like looking like a suit of armor.
Yeah. So you can take advantage on this stealth check if you want to roll it here. So we've got a 25, a 10.
Is there a way to do advantage other than just rolling twice on this?
Not
game?
at the moment.
No.
Okay.
We could set up macros for it, though.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I can hit it twice. It doesn't hurt me any. Doink, doink. Well, for a guy who's just standing there trying to look like a suit of armor, a 13 is pretty apt, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, it's not going to work great, but if they're stupid enough.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so as you're getting into place, he kind of closes up shop and locks the door. He grumbles under his breath for all that's going to matter. As he walks up the stairs. Again, you don't get paid if they get to my floor. Got it?
Pack, understand.
Understood. Believe me, I'm about getting paid. So on the map specifically, where is the entrance to his floor?
The entrance to his floor is actually behind his forge. I'm just lazy with map making. So that's it gives you a pretty good amount of space to cover from them rushing past. Besides, from what you understand, they're here for weapons and armor. So you're in the place where they would find the majority of that. All right. So the time ticks by slowly at first, and then kind of quickly as it fades into monotony. Please speak amongst yourselves if you care to. Break the silence here.
No. Oh, you said break silence, not break wind. Sorry.
Punk.
Is when you do that, I'm just like, oh, I can smell that from over here, Gumney.
So can I from
Jeez,
upstairs.
that's disgusting.
That also smelled like Pack.
All right. So, barring that, clearing out the room as Sari glares daggers at Gomni's mannequin form. Um, as the time passes a bit more quickly, and it becomes sundown, and you're ready any moment now for what could be a breach here. And go ahead and roll perception.
All right.
All of you. All of you.
18.
All right.
No.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't get 12. I got 21.
All right. 21. All right. So
Ooh.
Andrew and Pack, you'll hear what sounds like scraping on wood coming from the middle of mannequin on the far right. What sounds like a saw scraping against it.
Oh. Nobody, I'm not going to make noise. I just kind of go, shh.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just
Because I
gonna.
kind of put myself up against the wall.
And as it gets quiet here, you all hear this sawing as you actually see metal blade break through the floor next to this mannequin here. It almost seems to be cutting around it.
I'm just gonna grab Sari and like hold her mouth, kinda.
All right. So they continue cutting the square out in front of it, digging through the floor as you'll hear them. God damn! Did he reinforce the floor too? This place is built like a brick shithouse. As they keep
The
sawing.
moment I hear
through
them
the floor.
At this
talking,
point, I'm
I'm
going
going
to. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to start moving on the rafters towards the noise.
Okay, so you creep along the rafters here, and they're well made, so not even a sound as you put your bare ass feet on this man's ceiling.
So
And
we
I'm
all
going
hear
to
this,
take
right?
my. Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys are getting in position here. Jomny
I-
staying
I'm
still as a
going to take
statue.
my finger
Go
and
ahead.
run it along. It begins to drip down from it.
Okay.
My fists begin to harden into rock.
Okay. All right. Got it. So we've got some preparation going out. I understand. Let me see. I'm gonna roll a perception. Wow. Okay, y'all are good. That's all be loud, boys. As the floor finally snaps and it's lowered below them, as a few figures begin to climb through this gap here. If there's any other action you are waiting to do as they emerge, go for it now. Otherwise, I'll be filling in where they're coming through at.
While my fists are hardening into rock, my right hand begins to glow green as primal savagery is loaded into my right hand.
Okay. So the first two men pull themselves out of the hole here. As they kind of give a cursory look around. You're free to take action at any point during this.
As soon as they pop up, I'm gonna pop out from behind that mannequin right there with my war axe on one side. I'm swinging around trying to hit him in the side of the neck, and then stabbing him with my dagger with my left hand.
All right, so go ahead and roll. So they rolled terrible on perception, didn't see you. Go ahead and roll advantage on your first swing on this guy.
Good, I needed that. 18 on the first swing, and then the second swing is a 22.
Okay, so the first swing will actually just barely scrape off of his armor here, and the second swing will land.
All right, so the axe kind of flashes with red as it scrapes off his armor before passing over as it dims as I stab him with my dagger
Right.
for 7 points of damage.
All right. Good to know. As he just kind of lets out a gasp of pain as his friend looks over and sees you, Marcus, and he will also manage to spot Gomni out of the corner of his eye here, but Pack remains hidden in the ceiling. It's a trap! There's a few of them, as the other one kind of clutches his side where the dagger went in. Everyone roll initiative here.
18.
Okay.
8.
8.
I'm trying to find the initiative button.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna do a dex check. Critical.
All right.
And then let me roll for sorry.
Give me what your full total is, though.
24.
Okay.
6.
Jeez.
I'm not dexterous, did it?
Sorry's got a 15.
Sorry has a 15. All right. Okay. As they're kind of caught off guard as a few more begin to climb up through this hole here, we are going to start with the surprise of Marcus rolling expertly well.
So as I just slammed into him with my dagger the last time, I go, you're not getting away from me. As once again I slam out with my axe, and then I'm going to try to pierce him with my dagger. At this point, once again, my axe glows with the bright red as I go to swing it at him again.
All right. You see a look of fear in his eyes when he sees your blade light up, and he says, "Like the captain."
15 on the war axe and an 8 on the dagger.
Okay, so once again, they'll both bounce off of his armor as you realize it's really well made, all things considered. Breastplate. As you bounce off, and he kind of smirks. Captain was right. This stuff's incredible. As he readies himself. And
I'm gonna try to, since I missed him, I'm gonna try to, with my cloak of darkness still active, fade into the background and try to stealth away.
Okay. Go ahead and roll stealth against perception. I got a 17. Oh, and
I
you
critically failed.
Okay, let's see. Let me see here. That's great. Okay, so you are going to roll me a D100 really quickly. All right.
6.
So a 6. Okay. Let me see here. All right. So you are disarmed, causing your weapon to fly to the ground behind you. One of yours. So we're going to go ahead and just roll this D4. All right. So your dagger flies out of your hand and embeds in the wall behind you.
Shit. I'm not even going after it. I'll pick it up after the fight. I'm going to pull out my shield. And then I guess, is that going to take my movement to pull out my shield?
Yep. But you still have your standard.
I already attacked.
Ah, yes. Okay. All right. So then we're going to, with that little fumble there as the blades bounced off his armor, and we go over to Andrew. It is your turn here.
All right. Well, Andrew will go up here, and he will swing at this guy with his knuckles.
All right. So you launch your fists at his face here. Go ahead and roll that plus to hit.
16.
All right. So that will unfortunately miss, but you are proficient with your unarmed attacks, so you won't get attacked back for it. All right. So unfortunately, it kind of bounces off of his armor as he's once again cackling. And we move over to Sari, who kind of growls when he realizes both of you are in a precarious spot fighting this one. Go ahead, Sari.
All right, so Sari kind of takes a low stance, trying to pounce past Andrew, trying to push him off to the side and just take a swipe at him, trying to push Andrew out of the threat range.
Okay,
like
so
5 feet over.
Give me a quick strength check just to make sure he has the force to do that.
13.
Right, so, yep, above 12. So it'll nudge him one square to the right here, and Sari will occupy that square.
All right, as he's going to try to claw at him. With a 23.
That'll hit. Rather grievously so.
All right, as he just comes up, this like small dog, with this matted white fur, really dirty. This massive paw just brings it down, slicing across him for 9 points of damage.
Really excellent damage, actually. All right. As he kind of cries in pain, and the ones down below start heaving themselves up a little bit faster. As we cut over to the men that are above, this one just was gored by Sari here, and he brings out his long sword for a quick swipe towards Sari here. Does a 19 hit Sari's AC?
19 definitely hits Sari's AC.
I was wondering. I'm like, this dog pretty.
This
naked.
dog has like 14 AC.
All right, so the dog is going to take 8 points of damage.
As he just.
As he just screams at and clutches his chest where blood is pooling from it.
Sorry, the dog has 17 AC, but it's still not 19.
Yeah, and this one is going to go ahead and try to protect the hole here, make sure you're not stabbing at the people that are coming up, and stab out at you here, Marcus, with his long sword. Does a 17 hit your AC?
For me, a 17 does since I have my shield out now, it does not.
Okay, then you are good. So that'll miss, and he's going to go ahead and take a quick 5-foot step backwards towards the door here.
Okay.
At this point, another man will crawl himself out of the hole, and while that is occurring, it is your turn, Pack.
Hold action.
All right, so you hold your action up in the rafters here, waiting for a more opportune moment. And we go over to Gomni, as you see them not coming out of the door as originally expected, but pulling themselves out of a hole that they carved in the ground.
They're coming out of the fucking floor!
My problem is if I move through...
There is a tripwire you can see that
Yeah,
you'll either have to...
like a tripwire through there.
Yeah, you'll either have to duck under it or jump over it. So I imagine you'll be ducking under that. Basically, it prevents charge, and it's difficult terrain in that one square in the center here.
Yeah, I don't have charge ability anyway, so... I don't know how I put that on the screen. I'm sorry. There we go. I can't click things. But yeah, I will... Problem is I only move 20 feet.
The struggle.
The struggle. That puts me... Actually, hold on. 5, 15, 20. Actually, that still puts me here. If I duck underneath the tripwire, correct?
Yep. And you can still fight in that square without triggering the crossbow.
Yeah, I mean 5 feet. Like,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, thick tripwire.
yeah. But I will roll up on this guy, and if they still crawling out of the hole, are they down prone or are they already stand up?
So it takes their entire action to get out of the hole and assume the square next to it. So they're kind of funneling themselves with there being people right here. But they are available to be attack of opt if they fail their check to pull themselves up out of this hole.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna hit the first guy that's right there in front of me with the hammer.
All right. Go for it.
We got DM swap dice redeemed in the chat. Get that good dice out of here.
Okay, so these, just to show everybody, these were the dice I was using originally. My girlfriend just got me them on Valentine's Day. So
Are they pink? Are they pink?
no, I'm very sad actually that they're not. And I'm going to go ahead and bust out ye olden box of dice. Give me just a second.
I actually just recently bought the Frost Maiden dice set. They're really pretty.
All right,
Those are
so
really nice.
this the box of dice. Ye olden box here that I also got on Valentine's Day because she's great. All right, let's get out some new dice here. Who redeemed that, by the way, while we're going on it? Any new
Cheeto
faces?
Nipple.
Or...
It was
Cheeto Nipple. All right, I don't think I've seen you in here before. Good name,
I
and
think
thanks for making me use the mismatch set. I appreciate it.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to appreciate it. Hopefully it's cursed.
Yeah, it probably is. I have bad luck when first switching dice, so we'll see. All right, so go ahead and bring that shattering blow down on this poor man.
We'll find out.
All right, with a 16, you will hit this guy. As you realize he's wearing just a chain shirt.
So 7.
All right, 7 points of damage.
Right. It's just a D8. Wait, hold on. That didn't add to my strength, did it?
Correct your math.
Hey, macro. Nope. Wait, is it? No, it's.
It looked like it.
No,
did. Yep.
it is. It is. It is.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still getting used to Forge.
Absolutely, I understand. All right,
Or
so we
Founder.
are.
Yeah, whatever.
I understand. Back at the top of the initiative here, as he kind of recoils
Oh,
from this
wait.
blow to his chest.
My turn. I
Yep.
didn't
Use
take
it or
my
lose
turn.
it.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna move one square over on the rafters,
All right.
and I'm going to lightning leash guy right in front of Sorry around his neck.
So that is not a rafter spot. The spot to your right is. So you can leap to the rafter above the hole, or you can try to attack them from where you were originally. Sorry, not having a lot of verticality
No, you're
on the
fine.
map, something I'll work on.
No, you're fine. I'll go ahead and still do the same thing. Lightning leash.
Alright.
I'll spin my finger in a circle with lightning and throw it around his neck.
Alright, sounds good. Go for it.
He has to make a fortitude.
Ah, I can do. Alright, let's see if these new dice are... Oh, man. Okay. So that critical failure is not a great sign for the new dice, guys. So we're going to go ahead and roll... Alright, so you're going to go ahead and deal double damage with this attack here.
Okay.
So give me that damage. I imagine this man is dead, but I want to see it.
10 damage.
Alright, so 10 points of damage, which means his corpse, as he kind of spasms and electrifies, he drops his longsword at the waist, and...
I was yanking him up with the 10 feet that I get with pull range.
Okay, so you kind of pull him and hang him from the rafter here as a sign of horror to his friends. Electrical energy coursing through his body. Go for it.
And then I jump off and attack this guy that just came out of the hole.
So is that spell a swift action? Or...
Yes, yes.
Alright, then, okay, so you're going after that guy. Go ahead and roll your hit here. Oh,
23.
Alright, yeah, you definitely hit. Roll that damage, Pack.
Alright, so it is R2D10. So there's that, and then 1d6 from elemental strikes.
Alright.
So 16 damage.
Okay, as he's this crushing blow from above as lightning sparks through his metal armor here, kind of leaving him frazzled and hair burnt on end, that smell permeating the room, as he kind of recoils away from you a little bit before setting his stance and readying himself. Completely unnerved. We're going to go ahead and cut over to Marcus here.
So the one that hit my dog is the one. Sorry, is the one that he dangled from the ceiling. Is he dead?
Yes, he is indeed. I need to be removing him.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Please ignore that. Okay, so yes, that one is deceased and currently scorched corpse on the ground here.
You saw that. 2 enemies just went away.
There we go. Fixed it.
So then with the one in front of me then, I just kind of holding up my shield. I'm going to try to smack him with my war axe.
Go for it. You rolled sorry.
That's my attack. I'm just
Okay.
on sorry.
Gotcha. All right. So let me see. You'll miss with the first, but that second will hit.
I don't have a second attack. I rolled it again. So I missed with my first attack, turning to him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 5-step back, and with my swift action, I hold up my hand as this red circle of flames grows around his feet and then shoots up around him. I need him to give me a reflex save.
All right. Reflex save. Got a 16.
All right. And
Sufficient.
my DC is currently 16.
All right.
So he
did
will
pass.
take half damage.
All right, so he will take 6, which will still leave him burning in agony as he collapses to the ground here, almost pooling into a pile of ashes below Pack's feet. As the ones in the hole are kind of screaming a little bit, "Move! The second wave should
Don't
be
touch
here
my
soon."
fucking dog!
Well done. Go ahead and roll me an intimidate on that as they watch their companion turn to ashes in front of them.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. 14.
All right, so it kind of shocks them for a moment watching them collapse before they just kind of mutter to themselves, "Damn mages." And don't worry, reinforcements are on the way. As they continue hauling themselves out as it is Andrew's turn.
All right. I turn and look at Sorry, and he's still bleeding, right?
Yep, there's a pretty grievous wound on his chest there.
Okay. I put my hand over it, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
All right, so your healing light will mend Sorry here. And how do you channel your magic as your class, Andrew?
So my magic is channeled through my hands. So I have gloves on. So my hand will start to glow like a light blue,
Okay.
and as I rub the wound, that it will kind of heal.
Stitch itself shut. Okay. All right, then how much do you heal Sorry for here?
1 second. Gotta find it.
Absolutely. All right. As the men scrambling down the hole, from what you guys can hear, there's still quite a few of them scrambling their way there, and they mention a wave of reinforcements, which sets your teeth on edge.
Where is the heal on here?
Alright, I do believe that healing spell is 2d4, but I could be wrong.
Cure wounds is a 1d8.
Alright, so you'll heal him for 1d8 plus, I believe,
Plus your
2.
stat.
Yeah, plus your modifier that you cast with. Alright, so you'll heal Sorry for 6. I'll go ahead and make that change. Alright. Perfect. As the wound sort of stitches itself shut and the heavy bleeding fades away, as Sorry kind of looks up at you gratefully.
Oh, that's wrong. That it's +4.
Ah, okay. So
I added the wrong one.
No worries. Alright, so made that clarification. It's restored to perfect health. As some more combatants will pull themselves out of this hole here. Let's see if any of them bumble it. Okay, neither of them do.
Attack of up.
So with them being guarded in their pull here, you can make one attack of up on them, but they are paying attention here, so you won't hit their flat-footed.
12.
Alright, that
Also-
will not hit.
Yeah. So we both do attacks of up then.
Can you reach them from the hole section? Do you have a 10
Where is the hole? I don't actually see where.
Sorry,
where
I'm not able to edit it here, but it is in this section next to.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought they were coming in through. Yeah.
Fair.
Basically that bottom spot, but never mind then.
And you do hear a massive clang on the door to your left here, Gomni. Your right, I suppose.
Sure. Get out of the way quickly.
Yeah. As the door begins to open, as we will move over to this one who's standing in front of you, he's going to go ahead and take a swing at Pack, seeing the state of your armor and the fact that he just disintegrated the one standing in front of him.
Only wearing chainmail.
So he's going to go ahead and bring his longsword down in a powerful attack here. Pack does a 17 hit your AC.
Nope.
All right. So he will swing wide here. The other two have crawled their way out as the door smashes open. As another figure will bring themselves into the room. Let's see if they set off that trap. They most certainly do. So if I could get a reflex save from you, Gomni.
Yeah, because that's going to work out really well. Heavy armor boy like reflex save.
Yes. Dwarves very good at the reflexes.
Oh, Big Brain Girl, you're my favorite person.
Oh, gosh. What was redeemed now? Wait a second. Aid a hero. All right. You know, let's see how you do here. All right. So go ahead and we'll add a +3 to that, which will let you barely take that 5 foot out of the way for the bolt to impact this man. Dealing... That was really lucky because you would not have passed otherwise.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that would be... I'm telling you, she's only redeeming all these when I'm not playing. I feel attacked. Dealing a staggering 14 points of damage to this one. As he's almost immediately punctured through by that crossbow trap. Let's see. So we are on to Pack's turn. As you deftly dodged the strike from this frontiersman in front of you here.
Alright, so I'm going to quickly kick one in the chest and then turn around and punch the other one twice.
Alright, so you're using your flurry of blows on multiple targets. I don't know if you're able to do that, but...
I have...
yeah,
weapons
that's right.
fighting.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
All right. At first, or I'm gonna start to begin to tremble and shake and let out the blood curdling growl again.
All right, as you burst into your frenzied rage, putting a little more anger behind each of your strikes. That 20 will
So,
hit, and the 7 will
okay.
not. So,
That one was the advantage on the first attack.
okay. That's right. Rage granting advantage. 18 or 5?
Sorry, I didn't meet that. I accidentally hit the wrong one with the second one, but it does the 18 hit.
The 18 will hit as well.
Okay. And then the
Do
third
it.
attack is at a -3.
Okay.
Or not a -3, it's at a +3, sorry.
All right. Well, you're lucky you have advantage, or that would have been a crit fail.
Yep.
So you do not hit with that third blow, but you do land your first two.
Okay. Oh, actually, hold on. That was the wrong thing. I forgot I have to roll. Damn, this one. So,
All right.
13 for the first one, and then a d6 for elemental strikes.
All right.
So, 16 damage for the first guy.
Okay. And then was that the guy to your left or your right?
The guy below me.
All right. So he will drop, cackling with energy once more.
And then 11 damage for the guy standing on the other side of me.
All right. 11 damage for this one. All right.
And then I'm going to swirl my finger about
Mm-hmm.
and hit him around the neck with lightning leash.
All right. So you're casting a spell in melee here. So
Yep.
you are going to take an attack of op. Does a 21 hit you?
Yep, and I'm going to parry it with my gauntlet.
All right, so you are going to use parry. Go ahead and roll that. You will still have to make a concentration check to see if your spell is still cast.
Yep.
And he did 11 points of damage.
I accidentally rolled a physical dice. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Only the DM
Alright.
can roll physical dice.
Yeah. All right, so I take 1 damage off. How much did he hit me?
All right, so he hits you for 10 damage, which means your concentration check is going to be 20. 10 plus the damage you took. As finally a blow is struck on a member of your brigade here, as Pack draws a bloody line across his chest. Alright, so that you failed. Your spell fizzles out of existence due to your injury you just suffered. As we move over to the ever-heavy armored dwarf who was saved, as if by divine intervention, from a crossbow bolt through the shoulder.
So that guy that came through the door and got shot, I'm perfectly in line to follow up after jumping back.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go ahead and do a full round action here and hit him with my hammer, and then hopefully follow up with a shield to the face.
Alright, go for it. Alright, so
not going to hit.
That will not hit even a naked farmer, so that does not hit this man. The 13, however, will, as this one is barely wearing any armor at all.
My problem is I don't actually know what the damage is on
Are you using a tower shield? That's a D10. And did you put spikes on it? If you did, it's a D12.
I think if I remember right,
I vaguely recall you doing that.
Hold on.
Because you were like, I can put spikes on my shield? Hell yeah. I think that's exactly how that went.
Yep, that's exactly how it went.
Yep, so go ahead and roll that D12 plus your strength. Welcome to realizing your shield is your primary weapon.
You said a D12 plus strength.
Oh, wow. As an absolutely massive blow basically launches him out of the shop and into blissful unconsciousness, removing him from the field here. Right.
And, yep.
Alright. So you're hacking and slashing your way through these men. They get a bit nervous that their reinforcements didn't make much of a difference here as we come back around to Marcus.
I was going to say, do you guys have a 5-foot step rule at all?
Yeah, you can absolutely take one if you haven't moved. It counts as your full movement.
I can't figure out.
Switch to the person selection tool. There you go.
I just had to click on the right one.
Fair. Alright, so we go over to Marcus here. What is your next move?
Here's the deal. You lay down your arms now, maybe we'll let you live. If not, you all die here.
Alright. Go ahead and roll that Intimidate.
17.
Okay, really good intimidate. And one of the ones that was going to come in through the front door, you hear steps retreating on the stone pathway. But the other two kind of look to each other and look back at you. You don't know what the boss would do to us if we ran with her gear. We're dead either
You don't
way.
know. You don't know what I'm about to do to you.
Mhm.
As I hold out my hand, and these tendrils of green energy wrap around the one out from my hand, wrapping around the one in front of Sari, constricting him around his body.
Okay. What save, or is it a... Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a damage.
All right. You probably
I
have to
have
hit
to
their touch
roll a
AC.
ranged touch attack.
Yep.
Give me
This guy is wearing chain shirt. Okay.
critical.
Okay, so you will, alright, so you will inflict a pretty grievous blow on him here, as, we'll give it, double damage. And he
So
will,
20 points of damage.
yeah, as he will collapse into a husk of what he used to be, as it seems that all the moisture in his body has been sucked away. As you feel revitalized, as if you weren't already in perfect health. We move over to Andrew. Why don't you take action here?
I'm going to check on Sari to make sure that he's good,
All right.
and then go ahead.
Sorry. As you pull away at the fur on his body, you realize you healed him perfectly. There's not an inch of blood or anything on him.
All right, and then I'm gonna uh tell him that we're gonna move over here by Andrew. Well, not Andrew, Marcus. Sorry.
All right. So you move over there, just making sure you're covered there. And Sari.
Sari comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sari's turn is up next. So how does Sari respond to you kind of grouping with Marcus here?
So Sari is kind of in a low growling stance, just as he kind of inches forward, standing in between Marcus and Andrea and the enemy.
All right.
And he'll hold any possible attack action in case somebody comes forward.
All right. So you hear. So first, we're going to go ahead and take this last one's turn here. And as we do that, he's going to take a swing, a carefully calculated swing at Pack here. Try to make sure that this one lands. Does a 22 hit you, Pack?
Yep. Parry.
Yep, I understand. Remember, it's D6 plus your dex for parry.
Oh, I get plus my dex.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's see. We have a 6 plus 3. All right, so you will take 9 points of damage. Just kidding. You will take 5 points of damage.
Help, Pack.
As he kind of looks down into the hole for a second before his eyes go wide. So let's see. Pack, you're close enough. Sari's in your way. So Pack, you can roll a perception check to see what he's looking at.
Ooh, yes.
All right.
Fantastic.
So you see what looks like flame burning in this tunnel before a bottle is tossed into the room. As they say, "Sorry, Rorik, better you than us," as footsteps begin receding down the tunnel, as what looks to be a bottle filled with combustible liquid is thrown into the room. I need a reflex save from Sari, Marcus, Pack. Gumney's just out of range.
Could I attempt to catch it?
No.
Okay.
Unless you had the catch arrow's feet. I wouldn't allow
do
you to
not.
catch it. So. Alright, so everyone give me a reflex save.
So Sari's got a 15.
22.
Alright.
And
So Sari will take full.
I've got a 16.
Alright, so you take half, Sari takes full, Pack, you take half, unless you have evasion, in which case you take none. Andrew, you will have advantage on this. You're also in the range, but you have a suit of armor in your way. So give me a reflex save with advantage. So 15, roll it again. You need a 16 or higher here. Alright, so you will take half damage as well. As this cascading bottle crashes into the ground and erupts in flame. Okay, so 15 damage is full.
Oof.
So it would be 8 halved. That was a really dangerous roll. Yikes. Maybe switch my dice again. Get rid of this d6. That was really good. um, as this bandit will have failed, taking the full brunt of damage, and is torched into a corpse, leaving basically nothing remaining except charred bones. As you hear in the tunnel, rough footsteps retreating, and the stone pavement footsteps are retreating here as well, looking as though you had slain 7 combatants. Alright. As the fire does slowly begin to spread, Pack, you need to quickly give me a reflex save to get out to avoid taking any residual damage here.
So
Same
I'm
with
dead.
same with Sari and Marcus. Both of you will need to give me a quick reflex save. It's not difficult. Just get above an 8.
Ooh.
Shit, the whole place is on fire!
As you hear thundering footsteps coming down while you're getting out. Okay, so you successfully got out of the way. All of you will get out of the way. Sorry, go
As they're
ahead.
getting out of the way, knowing forges as I do, there should be not necessarily a pail of water, but maybe sand or something that he's got by the forge, because this is probably not the first time this place has got caught on fire.
Nope, not the first at all. In fact, all 3 of those barrels on the side there are filled with heavy sand.
Yep. I am going to go and grab one of those and just immediately chuck onto the fire.
Alright, so you do that. Go ahead and give me a strength check just to make sure you can heave the entire barrel.
Lid off.
Yeah, the lids are already off. This is a pretty common occurrence.
So, like an athletics check?
Yep, athletics will work just fine.
18.
Alright, so you are definitely strong enough to heave this barrel of sand, halving the size of the fire in an instant as it fails to spread. You can pad out the remainder, or you can toss another barrel on it for safety purposes.
I'm gonna chuck another barrel onto it for safety purposes.
So
he can sweep up the sand later.
Right.
It's not a problem.
Don't burn another hole through the floor. As you have no problem lifting the first. The second is much easier by comparison, as you fully douse the flames with this pile of sand in the center of the floor here. As he comes stomping down, who set my foot? As he looks at you, he gives you an appraising look and a slow nod. You've worked in a forge before. As he comes down, and not one of them made it upstairs. I hope that crossbow helped to... Jeez! What happened to you? As he points to you, Pack, with your body littered with wounds.
Pack, lie down.
Come here, you idiot boy. As he pulls out a red flask from his pouch here, and hands it over to you.
Andrew, are you okay?
Glug.
I am good.
As Sari just kind of comes over, just whimpering, her foreleg just burnt, going all the way up, like crispy.
You will heal for 16 points of damage, Pack.
Much better now.
Yeah, least I could do. Thanks for putting out my fire. Crazy bastards. They cut a hole in me floor! It's gonna take ages to get that replaced and look normal.
Yeah, well, at least you have stuff you can still sell to them.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'll buy the loot off of you, but as far as I'm concerned, that stuff's all yours. Although, this is a piece they stole from me last time. As he leans over to the one who was considerably harder to hit, you realize it's got his stamp on it. GG, for Goric Gray. As he lifts him out of the breastplate, you realize it's masterwork breastplate. I'd like to take this one if that's alright with you. I'll throw a few extra silvers your way for it. It's got my maker's mark and everything.
It's not a problem.
Those stolen goods are stolen goods.
Right.
I appreciate their recovery. How many were there?
I go back outside the door, grab the one that I knocked out,
Mm-hmm.
drag his ass back in. 7.
Huh.
Plus whole people.
That's about 5 more than last time.
There were still more of them down in the hole, but fire.
Yeah. looks like they torched one of their own, unless he was already dead, as he kind of kicks one of the charred corpses here.
They sacrificed him.
Cowards, a lot of them.
Poor bastards.
All right, well, I think God, you've sure left a grisly scene here. I'll have to close down for the weekend. Worse things have happened, I suppose. As he kind of looks over with a really quick eye, you can tell over the gear that they left behind. Most of this is proper shit, but at the best, at least I can use some of it's of scrap metal. Well, at least the parts that aren't melted. As he looks at the one he knows uses magic, which would be you here, Marcus. And he kind of looks it over here and he says, I can do maybe 7 silvers a person. Pretty
10.
fair pay, I'd say. 10? I'm not giving
I
you a
got
whole dragon for this.
I got lit on fire.
You look no worse
Look
than
at-
Pack.
Oh, look at my dog. And Pack almost died. 10 silvers, easy.
He
Roll
gave
me
Pack-
persuasion against this man.
He gave Pack good red liquid. I like man.
I don't want to.
Too bad. You wanted more money. He rolled
Ha,
pretty good.
21.
It doesn't beat a 24, but he kind of looks over you. 7 silvers and 50 worms. Best I can do.
I think you should do 10, and then I'm going to use Charm Negotiator.
Oh, you such an asshole. Alright, so you use the Charm Negotiator from your birth sign. And I'm going to give him a quick will save. I don't think it passes. So, as he kind of looks you over, and he kind of scratches the side of his head, I have been getting stolen from lately. I can do 8, and I can do 8, and I'll throw in a couple of pieces I think will suit you guys. That's really all I can. I don't have that much cash on hand at the moment. As he kind of like hopes you'll take that, but that's what he's got at the moment for you.
You guys all
You
good
know-
with that?
You no
That
need
works for
pay
me.
Pack. You gave Pack
Sounds good to me.
red drink and item.
All right. That works. As he'll come over and hand Andrew, Marcus, and Gomni 8 silvers. He'll actually throw in an extra one since Pack isn't taking a share, so you get 9 silvers each. And he goes over to the table here. He grabs a brace of 3 throwing daggers and tosses them over to Marcus. He grabs a pan flute over to Andrew and a book on how to play it. And he kind of looks at Gomni, looks at his armor and his gear. I have just the thing. As he kind of goes behind his forge here and comes back down after a second, he pulls out this single runic throwing axe. This used to be my prize back when I fought for the eye. So, here, take it. As you see, it's got his personal maker's stamp on it.
It will be used well, I'm sure.
Glad to hear it. Now get out of here. I've got some corpses to clean up and guards to.
Well, first,
Yeah.
Andrew, can you take a look at Sari? I think he's bleeding and burnt pretty bad.
I look at
Yeah.
him with the sad puppy dog eyes.
Oh,
and
wait
like,
a second. I forgot about your warhound. As he points up in the ceiling and you see that there's a trapdoor to watch down on the first floor. Better than some of the mutts I've seen. Come here. As he pulls out another one of those red potions. This good enough for an item for him? As he looks over at you, Marcus.
That'll do.
Alright, so Sari will heal for 15 points of damage.
All right, that'll take him back up to full.
right,
As
what
he
is-
just comes
what
over.
exactly was that
Good
from
boy,
again?
Sari. Good boy.
What was that, Gumney?
What was that throwing axe again?
That throwing axe is a masterwork throwing axe.
Masterwork, thank you.
Yep. So.
I look up at him with with puppy dog eyes. No item for Pack, just red liquid.
Hold on. As he's kind of digging around.
As I look at you, that red liquid's probably worth 50 silvers easy.
Shut your face.
It is.
I don't care
but
about my silver, Gomni.
it is, but I have a deal with an alchemist, so. As he kind of looks around for something, what are you even interested in? I see you punch people and use magic. As he kind of spits a little bit. You know what? Fine. You like the red liquid so much. As he tosses a blue vial at you.
Oh, blue liquid.
Yeah, it should help with whatever that. As he kind of points at his fingers and wiggles them, shit was.
Oh, you mean this? As I kind of wiggle my fingers and electricity pops through.
As I see Andrew is looting the corpses that he probably shouldn't be, but that's all right. Or at least checking him out, moving around a bit.
No, I'm a cool Andrew. Loot them fucking corpses. He's
he
not paying attention. Roll stealth.
he mother. You can, I guess. All right, so you can roll stealth. I'll roll perception. He's one-eyed. You might get away with it.
I taught my brother well.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll this here. Let's see. I'll give him disadvantage because he's half blind and it hasn't been that long. He still beats a 16, so he kind of looks at you, and your spell breaks, but otherwise he doesn't say much. As he kind of looks at you with a little bit of disdain.
I quickly move back over to Marcus.
So
I think he saw me.
as
You
Mark,
gotta be smoother next time. You need to work on your ability to move unseen. That was shit.
I apologize.
I'm gonna pour all of the ashes from my forge in that hole for a week. I'd like to see them try that again. All right.
That remains to the question: do we want to leave, or do we want to follow them down the hole and see where it leads?
We certainly gotta follow him down the hole. I mean, look at some of the shit these guys had on them. We could make a pretty silver. And at the very least, I'm sure we could talk to any local magistrate or officials about some kind of payment for taking out this guild.
Good luck. They seem to have a don't ask, don't tell policy about the crime that's happening around our district. Maybe if we were in the upper reaches, but it's like they forgot where they came from, as he spits.
I look at him, knowing he knows who I am, and go, generally the uppers forget that they were once the common man. Or at least most do.
As he gives you an appraising look. I have my problem with other dwarves, but you're fine enough by me, Gomni. If you ever
I'll
need
just give
something done with your armor, you know who to come to.
I kind of point the seats on the mall. Looks like fine craftsmanship in my eyes.
One of the only mountain plate makers around these days, as he gestures to his masterwork. Battalion of dwarves in these was an unstoppable as a... Well, I suppose the dragons from the Vakar Empire.
I haven't seen craftsmanship this fine except for, members of my own kin.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly going to be giving that away, but come back with a few thousand dragons and you have a deal.
Well, for right now, it's too rich for my blood. I'm just admiring a smith.
Glad to hear it.
And I just kind of look at the rest of them like, well, boys, shall we go?
Let's do it. I mean, less excited if we're not getting paid, but we can always scalp the gear we find.
I'll buy anything with my mark on it. Looks like I'm going to have to start carrying more money. As he kind of leave my shop, I'll fix the hole. You're going to have to find a new way out.
Well, hopefully there'll be another end to that hole.
Well, they had to get in there somehow. Besides, dwarves are good at finding holes. As he kind of smirks over his shoulder and locks his door first, rearms the crossbow trap, and heads upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I will be the first in the hole.
All right.
Walk over. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I appreciate the enthusiasm, especially for session 1, but it is getting to midnight here. And I know we all work in the morning, so I think we're going to go ahead and end here for this session. Made a couple of coins, got a little bit your feet wet in here, and I think this is a good stopping point before you descend back into the underbelly of Freehold.
Sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, all right, so we'll be going over to the Q&A section here in just a minute if there's any questions in chat. It looks like I missed quite a bit of stuff here, so I appreciate the mods watching over it. Want to say thank you guys for stopping in. Sorry, I kind of cut in you there. Gomni, go ahead.
I was just saying we tried to keep him entertained.
Yeah. So, if I'm a little rusty, I do apologize for that. I think this went pretty well overall, and was really great to see everybody get a chance to play some new characters. So, um, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll catch up after. I'm going to go ahead and move us over to Q&A, okay? All right. Yep, go ahead and wave. All right.
You can't see me, but I'm waving.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that was a pretty good first session, guys. I want to say thank you to every single person who came into chat to stick around, even if you didn't, stay the whole time, just caught part of it. Really does mean a lot, and it's great to see some of that involvement here. Don't you think, Zoltar, you got a little quiet on me over there?
Definitely excited. I'm excited to get to play again for the first time in a few years. I'm excited to get to play with this group specifically. I think it's going to be a good group. I'm really excited. It was a good first session.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say I'm really glad to see a couple of things. Really glad to see a little bit more using your channel points for good. I appreciate that. But it was really great to see some new faces in here. Cheeto Nipple, pretty great name still. Thanks for coming by. Really do appreciate that. And getting to see a few new faces in here. We got a pretty crazy amount of viewers, so that was really great to see. All right. Yeah, really great turnout. So if we don't have any questions here, we're probably going to go ahead and kill this Q&A. I know it's getting a little bit late. Everybody's a little bit tired. If you did like this session, we do this every week. We'll be doing this game every week on Wednesdays. We were a little bit late starting today, but it'll typically be from about 8:30 to midnight. So please come on in and take a quick look. Appreciate any follows or anything you guys want to throw in there, or really just any chat engagements. Really great to see. So. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and kill the stream here. Looks like we had lost Zoltar there right at the end. I'm glad we were ending here. It was great to have everybody here. I'm going to keep this running just for a second, see if we get any questions here, and call out some of the people who followed us over this last couple of minutes. Looks like Kitty Love 666 followed us about an hour ago. Appreciate that. And Cheeto Nipple followed us about an hour ago. So really appreciate seeing that here. Let's see. Summon Toast followed us 11 hours ago. That's really great to see. And Diamond Barbie followed us, looks like 2 hours ago. So we got a couple extra followers today, guys. That really means a lot. So thanks again. And, it's Demorbid. Demorbid Barbie. Whoops. Sorry about that. Demorbid Barbie. All right. Morbid Barbie. Wow. Man, my voice is wore out. So thanks again for coming, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.